Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judgment. So I just woke up, actually, about half an hour ago. Anyway, big up everybody that is here. Hello, and welcome to Footy Judgment, to your Rational League on Friday, where we're going to review the Premier League, of course. Manchester City visit to Newcastle, tricky one. Can actually someone now beat Manchester City? We'll talk about that. Rodri news, of course, he's out for about a year. That is what is going on. We wish him a speedy recovery, of course. And Arsenal now, can they go back to smashing teams and abandon the Tony Pulis football and all the stuff that everyone is talking about?
That's so disingenuous, man. Tony Pulis.
Why?
What are we doing?
Roy Keane said that. Roy Keane said that.
Okay.
Gary Neville.
Do you agree?
But poor Mo, like here, because I said something. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm not talking to Roy Keane. I'm not talking to Roy Keane. If I was talking to Roy Keane, I would tell him the same.
You're using it in a negative way. Tony Pulis' ball was intuitive at the time. It had Arsene Wenger debating, should we even allow throw-ins anymore because he couldn't handle someone chucking a ball into the box. Just put some respect on Tony Pulis' name.
Arsenal are going to go back to winning ways. Not winning ways, actually, just smashing teams. We know that. We know that Arsenal are going to go to smash Leicester and Southampton. And Chelsea are ready to jump and be in top four, of course. And Liverpool, of course. Oh, Liverpool. Amazing bench, quality depth.
Do you even know who we're playing at the weekend?
You are playing Wolves away.
There you go. Well done. Well, I just wonder why us and Chelsea didn't necessarily get the same sort of reception that all the other clubs did then.
Because Liverpool now, for me, the fans are called no chest fans. This is no chest Liverpool, bro. No chest Liverpool.
Liverpool.
That's crazy, bro.
For what?
Yes. No, we're underdogs. Same as last year, bro. You were top of the league. We're underdogs. No pressure on us. No, we don't have.
They are though, man. They are underdogs.
Joe,
There's a new
hear
manager.
a lot of Liverpool when they get together, bro, and they're like little shows. You know what I mean? With like 6 Liverpool fans. These are just. I wish we signed someone in January. We can win this league. Now they go on shows, and they were like, "Oh no, we're underdogs. Don't put pressure on us. We don't. We have no pressure on us. That is the Liverpool way." But listen, I want
pressure's on Arsenal.
More pressure on Arsenal.
Pressure's on Arsenal. They're the ones that have got to get over the line now. We got new manager. We don't need to worry. We're just here to enjoy the ride for the new manager.
This is the new notion for Liverpool. Everyone you talk to them, they're like, as if Salah is not last year, Van Dijk last year, as in Trent hasn't renewed yet.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
No, because
I don't want to talk. I don't want to start with Liverpool.
We've started now. We started now. You set me off.
Liverpool, then.
You've set me off.
Here you come. Here comes Tom monologue. The new Tom monologue. Right?
Exactly.
About how great the club is, but with no pressure.
Exactly.
We have the best players in the world. We have the best defender, the best goalkeeper, the best right back, the best right winger. But no, we shouldn't win anything. Who cares? We're all right. We're chilling.
Yeah.
The last time we won the league was 5 years ago.
Last time anyone else, Bar City won the league was 5 years ago. So it's actually an impressive thing.
Arsenal and not pressure on you then.
Because Arsenal are the ones that have spent the past 2-3 years losing out to City. We were in fucking Europa League.
Actually, shame on Liverpool that you haven't challenged like Arsenal in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
am I wrong here?
Why
no people spoken about this? Why nobody said that? Yeah, but Arsenal challenged, but you had a better team than Arsenal. You had more world-class players than Arsenal, but you haven't challenged. So they challenged. But now the pressure on them. So is it a negative on you that you haven't challenged or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that last year was a negative because we won a trophy, but the year before that was definitely a negative. This year it's different because you got a new manager.
Hype, bro. Carabao Cup hype, bro.
You can make a
parade. You can make a parade out of that and get all the city out. You want a Carabao Cup then?
Trophy's a trophy. Why are we trying to discredit trophies now?
It's no disrespect. I would give anything for a Carabao Cup. I can't lie.
It's different, bro.
It's all right.
For you. It's different. It's different. But can I ask you something, Joe? Would you rather get promoted to the Premier League or win the Carabao Cup if you have to choose only one?
Do you know? I know this probably won't go down well, but I want to see my team in my lifetime win a trophy, and winning the championships not really cutting it. Whereas if we won the League Cup, even though it is the League Cup, I'd take it and then I'd get promoted the season after.
No. It doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like this. You win the Carabao Cup, but you stay in the championship for the next 5 years.
Give me the Premier League then.
Exactly. You go to the Premier League. Tom, Carabao Cup hype, bro.
No, because he just said he'd rather win the cup, but you gave him a punishment of
exactly.
You're not allowed
because he wants both. He wants both. I will win it this year and I'll go next year. Now you don't get to choose like this.
I'm being very honest. If a team from the Championship won the Carabao Cup, they would probably go up within the next 2 years. So it's not an outlandish thing to say.
It is mad though, because I to be honest, sorry Tom, I remember having this debate with a Leicester fan because he was kicking. I want top four, and I was like, but you've won an FA Cup. Like it was that season. You won an FA Cup, surely. And he was going, no. And I couldn't get my head around it at the time. But then since then, they've been relegated. And I guess so. But I mean, if you were to ask Wigan fans, for example, would they have rather not won? I think they'd have still rather won that FA Cup because that day out at Wembley beating Man City, yeah, they're in the doldrums now in League One. But I don't know. Sometimes it's moments in football. I guess you can win all the time though. So you maybe don't have it like that, but or maybe you did.
We had this debate a couple of months ago now. Mo, we were discussing the importance of domestic cups in England, and they actually have a lot of weight. And it's probably not the same in other countries. We were talking about how in Spain the Copa del Rey doesn't carry as much weight, or in Italy the Coppa Italia doesn't carry as much weight, and a lot of the big sides don't really care about it. In England, a trophy's a trophy. It's a big thing. So I'm at the end of the day, I'm happy that we won a trophy last year, but we didn't stay right until the very end of the league. We went fucking damn well far in it. I think we only started to struggle in the last month of the season when everything sort of came to a head. So we're not a million miles away. If we were to finish 4th or 5th or something this season, would I be disappointed? Yes, because we haven't gotten worse. But when it comes down to, the pressure's got to be on Liverpool now. Yeah, there's an element of pressure.
No one said that. No one said that the pressure.
Everyone has said the pressure is on Arsenal and Liverpool. I don't think the pressure on Liverpool is the same as the pressure on Arsenal.
It is not. Of course, it is not. You have a new manager, so he has an excuse, to be honest. But
have Arsenal been made favourites now that Rodri's been injured?
A lot of people.
General consensus.
A lot of people are pushing that. Whether it's true or not. We're
not favourites with the bookies, that's for sure. But
what do you think, Rory? Have you gone? I know everyone's our thoughts are with him and that, but from a tribalistic point of view, you're going, this is massive for Arsenal.
Yeah, I just before the start of the season, I thought Arsenal were just about favourites. I then changed that when they signed Gundogan because I felt they filled a big hole in their squad. To then lose Rodri for the rest of the season, that's bigger than bringing back Gundogan. So yeah, I think it tips it back in our favour.
And you've signed
just
Sterling.
Favourites, and we've signed Raheem the Dream.
He looked decent against Bolton.
Yeah, I think he'll be a big impact player for us this season.
What's the situation with Odegaard? How long is he out for now?
Well, we've not really had any diagnosis of what went wrong or how long it was going to be. But before the Bolton game, Arteta was asked, do you think he'll be back before the international break? He said it's very unlikely, but you never know, we could be surprised. Which at least makes it sound like we're not talking a 2-month thing here. That if there's he could surprise us by being back before the international break, another 2 weeks on top of that. And I think the Norwegian doctor said they're constantly in talks with Arsenal as to whether he can go on the next international break, which would be absolutely mental, and I would lose my head if he went on the international break. But hopefully it sounds like it's not too long.
It's definitely not going, Rory. It's not going to go.
The logical thing
Norwegian
is to just keep him on the wrap.
Seems to think so.
The logical thing is just keep him. Don't rush him back now. I don't know who you're playing before the international break. I don't think there's anyone necessarily.
You're playing easy games. Easy game.
Leicester tomorrow and Southampton next weekend. So.
You should beat 2 newly promoted sides without Odegaard. Therefore, he comes back, and then because I know you play us pretty soon after the international break.
2 weeks.
A week.
Watch out for Vardy though. Vardy always scores against the Arsenal, so you never know. You never.
Well, that's Nobbins. Who does he think his our favourites now?
Logically, the answer is Arsenal, but I will back Pep to. If anyone can solve,
don't use the word logical. Use the word rational. We're trying to brand out here. The rational answer would be
okay. Very good. Well done. Branding. Yeah, the rational answer is Arsenal, I think. But I'm going to hope and trust that Pep can figure it out. Because if anyone can figure out the Rodri dilemma, it is Pep. So I'm going to hope they can do it. There's probably some copium, whatever. But there we go.
How would you? Because I've heard loads of different things where it could be Bernardo goes in there, or maybe Stones goes back to what he was doing when he was going into defensive midfield, or maybe
Tom,
starts.
I'm glad you've asked. And I will be doing a live stream later today at 6 p.m. GMT where I'll be discussing those things and more.
Okay, but
no shouts for.
So he's not. Yeah. So he's not. He's not gonna.
But I'm not gonna be there, so I want an answer.
He's not gonna reveal anything with this show. If you want to know Novin's opinion, you have to tune into his channel. Thank you, Novin. Great content.
No shout for bringing back Calvin.
If you want to know Rory's opinion, 6 Thursday, Rory talks football. He's gonna give you his opinion. If you want to know Joe's opinion.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, is there no shouts for bringing back Calvin Phillips?
No.
They've said no, haven't they? They've put the word out.
There's no point. Calvin Phillips could still be in the squad, and he still wouldn't be second choice in that.
He's a centre back at City anyway. When he plays.
Yeah, it's no. There are some solutions. I think obviously none of them are going to be as good as what it would be because you literally can't. Even going out in January and getting a new signing, it still wouldn't be as good as it could be. I think the main question for me is, will City enter that market in January? I actually don't think we will, which is a little bit scary, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Right, okay.
You already have a short list of people to replace Rodri.
Yeah, but that
my prediction is we won't sign anyone. That's my prediction.
That came from a bollock source, that short list. It was literally just... I could tell exactly where they pulled that short list out of. They searched midfielders who could move to Premier League in summer, grabbed 5 names from an article that came out and then just went, yeah, City like them. There's no rhyme. None of them play bar Zubimendi, none of them play the same way as Rodri.
Which is
They had
why
fucking
I was
Ederson
just
there.
gonna say,
If
what
they
if they
I'm
went
not
and got?
arsed. I'm
What
not
if they
arsed.
tried to get Zubimendi, man? That would be mental. If they
I'm not
managed to
arsed.
get
Real Sociedad have won one game this season. I'm not arsed. He made the wrong
Yeah,
decision.
your
We got
your
Gravenberch. You can
Sociedad
fucking have
hate
that.
is on another level, Tom. By the way,
You're
we can have that.
tracking
Oh
them
yeah,
like
yeah.
a rival.
I can tell you
You're
the
so
results.
hurt. It's
I'll tell you the results. Watch,
unbelievable. You're so
watch me.
hurt. Unbelievable.
Watch me.
It's because they lost their best midfielder this summer.
Watch me.
Yes.
Draw with
Yes.
Nice, draw with Valladolid, lost to Mallorca, lost to Real, draw with Getafe, lost to Deportivo, lucky last-minute win against Espanyol, lost to Rayo Vallecano, 1 win in 8. This shit, he made the wrong decision, and I'm not arsed because we got Ryan Gravenberch.
haven't you even started
I'm not
insulting
arsed,
their
and yet
geography
he's
as well?
tracking their results
That's
like a
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
Sam's
yeah.
job.
The mountain range isn't even that
That's
good. It's
Sam's
overrated.
job. Fuck the mountain.
The mountain range isn't even
Fuck
that good.
San Sebastian.
Shit.
Fuck the whole region.
But yeah, I'm not arsed. He can do what he wants. I'm really not that bothered by what he does now with his career. I'm not really that too fussed. So if he wants to, he can do whatever.
I think we're
Did you
getting
guys
a little bit.
Go ahead. go ahead.
Oh, I was only just going to say, I still think we're getting ahead of ourselves putting Arsenal as favourites. I think the pressure on them now is more than what they've ever had in the last 2 seasons, because I think they've got the most competitive squad they've had yet to try and compete. But Manchester City have Haaland. Like, I just think that's too much on his own. When you add Rodri into the mix, they will walk in the league, in my opinion. So you remove him. Yes, it makes it a little bit closer, but Haaland's capable of scoring hat tricks if
But
he
don't
wants
you
to turn up
think?
in any
Don't you
game
think
he
that
wants.
City showed their hand then already with this Haaland thing? Everything now is built around Erling Haaland. Everything. They showed their hand.
I think
but
maybe
it's
at
not
this
that easy
stage
to
of-
stop
I
Erling
think-
Haaland.
Okay, yeah, I think maybe at
Go,
this
Yeah, yeah,
we
stage-
know
not-
they're
not
playing
everyone-
Haaland now.
not-
We got him.
Not,
You know what I mean?
not everyone has 52 years old at Sherby at their back line. I know that.
I think
So-
maybe at this stage of the season, by the way, Pep has already sort of shown that he's trying to reintroduce older tactics or change it up a little bit and be one step ahead of the curve. I think maybe by the time we get into the run-in, I'm sure this team will be a lot more gelled and players will be
Can I-
sort of feeling a lot more comfortable in this Man City team.
So I have a question then. Do we think that statement that was put out, stop Haaland, stop City, is actually correct for people now this season?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
maybe it is, because that second half against Arsenal, they lacked ideas and Haaland wasn't really coming up with anything. But I don't think that will be true all season long.
It won't.
I
And you have to
think
have
a lot of
very,
blockers.
very, very talented. You have to have a very talented defenders to do it. But that second half, effectively, Arsenal did stop Haaland, and until the 97th minute, stopped City. So,
But no, I know it's an old cliche, but playing against 10 men and I mean, there was no space. I don't know if we can
that's the thing.
can use that
Well,
as a
that's the thing, right?
barometer, because
You can do that against City, though. Like other teams can do
It,
that.
it,
If you-
it
if you-
requires you to go ahead though, and not many teams go ahead against City.
it's just
or
Other
if you're
teams also
drawing
can't
against them.
defend like Arsenal as well.
yeah.
No,
and,
of
and even
course, of
Arsenal
course.
conceded. So
Yeah, of course. But I do think it's possible.
I
And if you look
think
outside
it's
of
just
that-
it's a tough thing to say. We'll just stop Haaland because, but bar Inter doing it, and because even scoring,
Foden's not even got going yet, has he? As well, Foden's
no, he's only just come back from injury.
Yeah, so he's.
I think the plan's just going to be to form basically a creative fucking hub, which is just going to give Haaland every single type of chance that he could possibly ask for. My concern for City would be, bar his first season in England, where he did still miss a couple games, pretty much every single year of his career, he's had about a month injury. If you were to lose Haaland now, alongside Rodri being gone, I really do wonder how you're going to play through that. Is it going to be just a return to what it was in 2019, where it was Kevin De Bruyne as the false nine, even though I don't think he's physically at the level that he once
It'll be
was?
Foden false nine, I think.
Foden false nine.
I have a
No,
question
he
to you.
played,
people. Where
he
do
played there against Watford, yeah.
Yeah. I want to
Watford,
actually ask a
sorry.
question. Where do
The big scary Watford.
Whoa,
Oh, the big scary
whoa,
Watford.
He was also he was also our main false nine option when we won the title. Let's reel it in a bit. Chill. He was our main false nine in 2021.
Does
Calmer.
anybody here think that Foden is just gonna drop this season?
no.
No. Why would he just suddenly
Nobody
drop?
thinks that. Everyone here thinks that Foden is gonna continue with the form of last year.
His numbers might
already-
not be as high
Yeah, I don't
in
think I
terms of
agree.
individually, but I don't think that means he is a worse player. I just think that means that Kevin De Bruyne is back now. Haaland's back for the whole season. So it'll be a case of the numbers are more spread out compared to what it was last year at points where it was, if Foden didn't do anything, City had fucking no one to do anything. Doku, God knows Doku wasn't going to fucking do anything. Alvarez went through fits and spurts. His numbers might go worse, but I don't think it's a player thing.
The thing I found weird is that Pep's still talking about Foden needing to fight his way back into the team. And I'm like, well, if it was only injury that was keeping him out of the team, what's he done to then relegate himself out of, as the player of the season last season? What's he actually done other than just not being fit at the start of the season to relegate himself out of the team? Or has the system now changed?
You know, when you think about that statement, before no one's going, when you think about that statement that you just said, Rory, it's actually mad. Because the player of the year, because he misses 3-4 games for the coaching to the team, I think that is disrespectful to Foden. If any other coach in the world said that about someone like Bukayo Saka,
I think if anything, it's respectful.
To who?
Foden. He's not treating him like he's some sort of academy player who needs to be forced in. He's a member of the senior team and he needs to earn his place like any player does. If De Bruyne keeps dropping stinkers, do you think that he's going to play? No. It's about having high standards, if anything.
But I think you're looking at it from Pep's. I'm sorry, you're looking at it from Man City, and I get it. Because you have Pep Guardiola and he is the superstar, it is different. I'm just going to... Imagine if Cole Palmer at Chelsea has to fight his way back, or Bukayo Saka. Imagine if Odegaard comes back from injury and Arsenal are winning, which is expected, the Arsenal to win the next 4, 5, 6 games before they meet Liverpool. Imagine if Odegaard comes back and he was injured and he has to fight his way back.
With all due respect, who is Cole Palmer's competition at Chelsea?
Madueke and Neto.
Right. With all due respect, who is
Odegaard? And Nkunku as well.
Felix
as well.
And with respect, who is Odegaard's competition in that offensive midfield role?
And Waneri got two on Wednesday.
And who is Foden's competition?
I'm going to give you an example.
Who is Foden's competition, Mo?
Mikel Morin. There should be no one, and that is the thing.
How should there be no
one? I didn't realize Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan didn't exist.
And Bernardo Silva.
So he asked me a question. Are you telling me that it has to be one of Kevin De Bruyne or Foden to play?
No, but the point is that it's not a case of Foden will just walk in because, as I just outlined, the examples you used, Palmer and Odegaard, it's not a reasonable equivalence at all.
You're telling me that the best player in the Premier League cannot displace Savinho or Doku from the sides and play? You're telling me that?
Savinho started really well, so I think...
Well, first of all, that's a different position, but secondly, again, the point I'm making is that Guardiola's point was that all of his players need to fight for their place, and no one is safe. If anything, that's treating him like a man and a senior member of this team, rather than babying him and going, oh yeah, I'll force him in, or what, no matter if he's playing like shite. I'd rather he be hard on him.
So that's the point.
You're looking at it from a different... Go ahead, Rory, but I want to add something to this. You're looking at it from... Everyone is equal. I am looking at it from the player of the year perspective. If you're player of the year, you're above everyone, right?
But that shouldn't matter more. It shouldn't matter.
It matters only the performances, right?
But my point is,
he was played
that's last season. This is last season. He got to continually evolve.
Standards are high at this club. I don't have a problem with that statement.
It goes back to my question.
Is he
going to top this season? When you are a player, Tom, when you are player of the year, guys, you are above everyone. You're the best player in this league. There's no competition.
But the circumstances were different. When he was player of the year, Kevin De Bruyne missed 6 months. And Gundogan was not even a part of the squad. His competition last year...
Gundogan is not in this conversation, guys. We have watched Gundogan now. He's not in that conversation now.
But Gundogan plays in that position. Gundogan still plays in that position.
Based on logic, Gundogan should not be in this conversation with Foden. Gundogan is much older, went to La Liga, looks slower. Foden, player of the year in the Premier League,
he was probably Barcelona's best player at points last season.
Lots of Barca fans
did you watch him this season? Are you watching him this season with Man City? Is he the same?
I
He's
think
only
he's,
just
I think he's
started. He's only
readjusted.
played like
Six
a
games,
game or
five
like
two.
games.
three games. He
played.
played
I
three,
think
four
it's looked
games.
all right. Yeah. I think
I
the main
think he's still
takeaway
seeing the
is
old things. It's just not. He's not got the numbers yet, but he's still seeing the same thing against you. He made the same runs that caused everyone in this league fucking problems for 4 years. He just put them over the bar instead of putting them in the net. It's just the numbers aren't there. You're still seeing a lot about
For me,
Gundogan
it's just
to like.
astonishing. For me,
The point
it's astonishing that the player of the year has to fight his way back into any
it's about
team
having
in the
high
league.
standards, though.
But okay,
That's what
but
I've
this is
taken from Pep's comments. I'm quite
So-
happy
so-
with them.
My point is that you keep saying about like dropping stinkers or perform. But my point is Foden hasn't played himself out of the squad. That's my point. He's been injured or unfit at the start of the season, but then isn't get. De Bruyne didn't play against Arsenal. He didn't bring Phil Foden in. That's my point. Is if you're Phil Foden, thinking from Phil Foden's perspective, you go, I was player of the season last season. I almost single-handedly dragged Man City to the title last season. I've had a bad summer where actually my stocks have gone down over summer, and the season started, and I'm not getting a sniff of starting minutes.
Well, he's been injured.
Has
But he's not been injured for the last-
has the
He
system
has.
changed
He
as well?
only
Nobbins, or
he only
not?
just came back from injury. He's only had one full 90. It was against Watford.
But that's what I'm saying. He could have played against Arsenal.
But he wasn't fully fit or fully sharp, clearly.
I don't know. I just think,
But
and I
that's
do
what
think,
Pep said.
has the system changed to suit Haaland, and does Pep know that system change actually is not going to suit Phil Foden as much this season? Because we'll see tomorrow. De Bruyne is out again tomorrow, according to Pep Guardiola. So we'll see if Phil Foden still doesn't start tomorrow. I don't know.
He has
I
to.
think
He
there's
has to
issues.
start tomorrow. He has to start tomorrow.
I would be surprised if he didn't start tomorrow because again, he did get a full 90 against Watford.
In
not his
what
position,
role in the false nine?
It was
You think
false
it's-
nine, yeah.
Right,
So
okay.
he didn't have much to do, but it was all
So
right.
if false nine isn't something Pep's looking at whilst Haaland's fit, where do you think Foden fits in like this sort of different system this season?
So I think you could just do like a straight swap for example, if you think of like the team that played you, Dan, for example, just take out Bernardo, for example, and put Foden in that position.
And is that a swap Pep would want to make, replacing Bernardo for Foden?
It would make sense. I mean, it would be a little
Tom,
bit.
you're muted.
It'll be a little bit.
Does Pep ever drop Bernardo though? That's like
Not
his
really.
guy.
Well, I would argue that it's come to the point where he should be doing that personally.
What is your best starting 11, Nobbins, against Newcastle tomorrow? Rodri's out. What is your favorite starting?
I think
11?
their
KDB
best starting
start.
11 is Ortega in goal. All the kids that played against Watford. We'll give them Adam. Remember a couple of weeks ago where I said the Premier League should step in and give Haaland to Southampton? They can get Adam Armstrong now from Southampton for this game. We'll see really how good a manager Pep is. Because that's what this is about now. It's about a dick measuring contest for Pep. He needs to prove he's that good a manager. So go out there with James McAtee and go win it at St. James's Park. Or is Nobbins going to come in and go, oh, well, you should play Edison and Diaz and Akanji. Come on, Nobbins. I want to see the real you. What do you think Pep should
Edison, DM, Ortega in goal. That's what I reckon.
do? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Edison's the Roger replacement after all.
No,
yeah.
go on. Let's hear it, Nobbins, because I actually want to know.
No, to be fair, I don't know. I can give a team, but I don't know because obviously a lot of it will depend on, like, for example, I would like to start Rico Lewis, but now I'm thinking Newcastle, obviously a threat on the counter. Is he going to start Walker because of that? Even though Walker was absolutely dross against Newcastle last year. No, yeah, I personally wouldn't do that, as I would just like to see, so Gavard, obviously Edison, Gvardiol, Diaz. I still don't think Stones is like fully up to it, so I go Diaz, Akanji, Lewis, and then the question mark comes about with who plays in Rodri's position. I think we'll go Kovacic. I still don't think Gundogan's got to full match sharpness, so I'm going to go Kova, Grealish, Haaland, Savio as the front three. And then how many more players do I need? So Foden, obviously, and then so who's going to be out of possession? So maybe Kovacic, Gundogan. Actually, if De Bruyne is not available, probably Kova and Gundogan. Yeah. So the midfield four would be Kova, Gundo, Foden, Lewis, which is actually a really good midfield now I think about it. So probably a diamond. Kovacic at the base, Foden at the tip, and then Gundo and Lewis either side. That's why.
To be honest with you, the only time I hear this, he's not match fit, not yet, when he has played, is from Man City fans. I'm being
Who's
completely
that
honest.
for? Sorry.
Like you said that about Gundogan and you said that about John Stones. John Stone has been in the team for about 3-4 games now, right? He has been included.
I think his first,
So
I
when
think his first start was against Watford.
let me
though,
ask
wasn't it?
yeah, but that's not the point. The point is you have been in the team. That means you are fit to play. When are we gonna start hearing about okay, maybe his level just dropped instead of being it's not match fit. Maybe
What,
his level
Stones?
just dropped because I don't hear that from Bukayo Saka. Who started the season, played every game. Declan Rice came from the internationals, pre-season bang every single 90 minutes. Even for Cole Palmer with Chelsea, Jackson as well. Like this notion that it's only Liverpool, for example. Konate comes back from injury, start. They throw him in the deep end, go play. You know what I mean? Salah is the same, comes back from AFCON play. Only for Man City players where I hear this, he's not matched. Once they drop the level and they start
because
playing
City have the
bad,
luxury.
you are okay.
City-
This is what I'm talking about. Look at
City
Tom
have
now.
that many good
Here,
players, though.
Tom now defending every single Man City player.
No,
And
I'm
that's
just
what we call about the
explaining.
rivalry, guys. That is
No,
exactly what we were.
Okay.
What Roy Keane
No,
was
but them players
That
you've
is
just
the thing.
mentioned, though, more, them teams can't do without. Like Liverpool can't do without Salah. Chelsea can't do without Palmer. Arsenal can't do without Rice. But City can do without Foden.
I hear that, but you hear how people sometimes talk about John Stones, one of the best defenders in the league, and then comes in, makes a lot of mistakes. Oh, he's not match fit. Oh, he's not. No, we need someone else.
Well,
Sorry.
In fairness, well, I feel like I'm quite a patient person, and he wasn't good against Brentford, but surely it's a more reasonable conclusion. Oh, no, he started against Brentford, didn't he? Surely it's a more reasonable conclusion to think he's a little bit rusty than he's now shit. Do you not think that the former is a more reasonable conclusion than the latter?
No, because I've seen him make a lot of
Right.
mistakes. And
So if a player,
for me.
if in a player's first start of the season, when you know for a fact that they are very good and they were last season, and then the first start at the start of the season they're poor, you think it's reasonable to say that they are now shit,
No, they dropped the
rather
level.
than maybe it's just a little bit of early season rust.
Maybe I
and-
can
and
give him an excuse
sharpness.
for that. I can give him 1 game excuse, 2 games excuses. But when you don't start, when you don't play regularly, no, I
Wait,
want.
Mo, we've played 5 games. What's going on here? Stones
And in
has
these 5
started
games,
2 all season. He started the one against Brentford, which we've discussed, and he was a bit rusty. And then did he start against Watford and he was all right. So like he's had 1 rusty game.
to be
Like,
honest,
what's missing?
Kanji's actually been quite good as well, so you can't exactly drop him.
Here is my take on this. I think Man City players are absolutely protected by the media and the fans because Man City are the best team in the world and they have Pep Guardiola.
Or maybe
No
I'm
one
just
gets-
patient and
no
don't
one
think
gets-
that one bad
No,
performance
you
at the
are.
start
You
of a
can be
season
patient.
equals
Nobbins.
their
You can be
levels gone
patient. You're a Man
down.
City fan. Nobbins, I hear you. You are Man City fan. You can be patient because you have seen these guys win a treble and you have seen these guys win trophies and everything. I am talking about the rest. I am talking about the difference in treatment for different clubs. Salah plays 1 bad game and people shit on him.
I
If
don't.
Saka drops a stinker, I'm not talking about you, Nobbins. I'm talking about how the media treat players. If
But they're
Jackson
wrong,
plays
then, aren't
bad,
they? But they're wrong.
you can say that, but I'm
So
Also,
I think you
Right
should be
or
having a go at the
Right
people.
or wrong. Right or wrong is not my thing here. Right? It's how people get treated differently.
And that's
people- for
wrong.
Okay, but that's the reality we live in. That
But
people are treated
Right,
differently
but
by the
what
media.
they're doing is wrong. Players should be given more patience at the start of the season, especially. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Anyway, this conversation is. I just feel like there's difference in treatment between players.
But-
Do you think Stones is finished? Is that what you're saying, Mo? Stones is finished. He's washed. He's done.
He's not forgiving him for that man of the match Champions
rated
League final
Stones.
performance.
I
That's
actually
what it is.
never rated Stones as a defender. Actually, Like,
Crazy.
as high as people rate him. I rated Stones as a football player in a Pep system that favors defenders because they have the ball all the time. Right? That's why he was moved to the midfield and he was brilliant in the
Mo
midfield.
has just called Pep Guardiola a defensive manager.
Mad.
No,
John
it's the other way
Stones looks
around.
all right at Everton though as a defender, didn't he?
Yeah, John Stones was
right.
quite good
Okay.
at Everton.
The
And
word
at
all
Barnsley.
right, that's the thing.
And at
The
Barnsley.
Can't
word
forget
all
Barnsley.
right is
Yeah.
different. The word all right is different than being brilliant.
No, that's
You
me
know what I
being.
mean?
That's me using not proper English. Sorry, Mo. I think he looked very good. Hence why he got to move to Manchester City.
Okay.
Hence why he became the most expensive defender at one point.
Yeah,
I actually feel like, to be honest with you, but that's for a different story. Like the likes of Gerard Piqué, for example, that the stature he has in the history is that because he played with Messi at Barcelona, basically. But that's my opinion in football. We're not going into this discussion now. We're not going into this discussion.
I think there is a point. There is a point that, and this is right or wrong. I don't even know if it's right or wrong, but Man City get spoken about differently and treated differently and scrutinised differently because they win. And you can say that that's fair. But as an example, I was baffled by the reaction to the City Arsenal result and the conversations around it and why there was very little scrutiny on Man City's performance. And I tweeted about it, and loads of the comments and quotes were like, because they've won 4 in a row, because they're the treble winners. And it's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't actually affect the like how you should analyze an individual game just because they've won the last 4 Premier Leagues. But they are scrutinized differently. And look, if that's how people think it should be done, then fair enough. But yeah, they do get less scrutiny than most teams.
But that's
And
fair
players do.
because of a team that won 4 in a row and a triple on
Yeah.
the way. I think that is just a natural reaction from just people in the media. Like, it's hard to criticize someone who won back to back
That's the
league
thing. Yeah.
titles. It is hard.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
nitpicking here if you try to criticize it. So, okay, wow, we spent 35 minutes and we haven't spoken about the games. Nothing's the game itself. How worried are you about Newcastle?
I thought we were doing Man United Spurs. What happened to that?
Yeah, they can hold that, honestly.
I've spoken about Liverpool and it just went to the other.
To be
But listen,
fair, you can try and bring logic and a structure to the show. It always goes after the first section because someone says something, and we go down 3 other tangents. Do we even? I don't even know half the games that are on. I couldn't tell you who.
City Newcastle. There you go. That's all you need to know.
So you're playing Newcastle. What time?
Arsenal playing
Lunchtime.
Leicester.
12 p.m.
Lunchtime tomorrow in
Lunchtime,
Newcastle.
early kickoff.
At the St.
Away at
James's
Newcastle.
Park.
To be fair,
How
I
you
feel
don't
like-
know
Eddingham.
that? I don't. How you?
I know Liverpool. I could
The
tell you about
biggest
Liverpool,
game.
but that's about it.
Do you only watch Liverpool then?
I watch the City one, and I'll watch the whatever games on late Sunday.
What about Chelsea Brighton? Would you watch Chelsea Brighton?
Why would
It's
that?
the
Why
most
would that?
exciting game in the league.
It's
I've
three
never
o'clock.
watched
It's
that.
technically
o'clock.
not on in the
He
UK.
isn't going to
man.
break the law.
Yeah,
is he?
I'm a good person.
It's
I'm
still
not gonna...
3. I thought they solved this 3 o'clock thing.
No. Well, yeah, they did. It's called a Fire Stick.
It's
called-
called certain
called-
websites
it's
that
called
end in
VPN.
Reflect the view of the Rational League.
It's called VPN. It's called VPN. You know, VPN is the thing.
Yeah, no,
you know?
but VPNs cost money. I'll take the
costs money.
I'll take the 5 years. I'll take the 5 years for streaming it off some dodgy
Costs
websites.
$2 a month to get VPN.
Do you know
no,
they
but
were talking about like
it's the what's it called, the logical.
3P.
No, I don't know the word at the minute.
IPTV,
come back
you
to me.
mean?
No. The reason why I won't pay £2 for a VPN to watch the
Principle.
footy. Principle. It's the principle of the matter.
Yeah.
I'm not paying more money. If I can watch
I
it
know
for
the
free,
way-
I'll watch it for free.
Because I am following the government and I'm not watching the 3 o'clock games.
Do you know they were talking about like doing obviously like raiding people and stuff, weren't they? Like if they were watching it, and I genuinely thought, imagine like obviously I'm in the Championship watching Leeds United, and then poof, the door went in. I'm gonna take it
Live
Live
off.
on the watch along.
The
Why
views
is that
would be
crime?
insane. The
Why
views
is
would
that
be
crime?
insane.
Why I'm getting
Get it
arrested?
clipped
You're
up.
watching football. You're watching football. You're
Yeah,
not
it'd be
allowed
crazy.
to watch football. It's
That's
crazy, but
The people who stream it get like 4 years if they're caught. They get 4 years in prison.
Yeah.
And
But
it's always
soft kids, and you're fine.
it's always
You could still work for the BBC.
it's
Yeah.
al-
Someone quote that. Someone clip Roy saying that. That's
guys don't think
crazy.
that there
You
should be
He's
a
outed
protest
himself
about
live
this.
on the
You guys-
Rational League.
you don't
Mad.
think
No,
there should be
no,
a
no.
boycott and a protest about this for real? The 3 o'clock game.
Well, they've tried, but nothing happens. So
You get a
Who
show
makes-
on Channel 5.
Who makes
don't you,
that
these
decision?
days?
Because I am sure that the broadcasters want to broadcast the game. Who
Yeah,
made that
it's done,
decision?
it's done for the
Government.
protection of smaller
lower
clubs.
leagues.
Yeah.
Lower leagues. That's the point. Because they say what they say is if the 3 p.m. games were on, that people wouldn't go to lower league games. They'd rather stay in and watch Manchester United versus City. But that's not
But the
true
rule-
because
the
people
rule
that
was
go to
made up.
non-league games are non-league fucking fans.
yeah,
exactly.
the rule was made up before the internet actually existed. Like genuinely before the internet existed. So it didn't really take into account the fact that now, if someone wants to watch their team on TV and it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, they'll more than likely find a way of watching their team for a 3 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, okay.
But,
Guys, before we go on, guys, there's about 700 people.
It
here.
is funny the games that they get done for, though.
I'm trying to get the people to
It
like the
is
video. Tom,
it is
please.
mental how many
Tom?
times Tom
No,
jumps
because
mad.
I'm
you-
trying
you'll
to get the
read-
people to like the video, Tom. I'm trying to get the people to like the video.
This conversation should be
Please.
enough. You'll read the news.
No, they aren't. Okay, it's on you. Okay, it's on you, Tom, until the end of the show for us to get 300 likes because we have about almost 700 people and we're only on 140 likes. It's on you now to get the people to like the video.
Okay. Can you put a little banner up at the bottom which says like the video, please? And then that's my contribution.
You think that's it?
That's it.
He thinks that's it.
That's it. That's all I'll do. But yeah, back to the actual interesting bit. The games that you see in the newspaper when they get arrested, it's always the worst game. I've been arrested for watching Southampton versus Ipswich. Fucking hell, he's got 4 years for watching Sam Morsy control the midfield at R4. It's never any good games that they get done for. Years ago it was Burnley West Brom. 3 people got done for streaming Burnley. Do you remember? So off topic. Do you remember when in lockdown they tried to put Premier League games behind pay-per-view?
£14.95.
Yeah, to watch Sheffield United, Burnley, or whatever it was.
One game.
West Brom
Iconic.
Burnley. West Brom Burnley would have cost someone 15 quid to watch legally in this country.
Quickly got kibosh, but that shows the power of the fans. If only we could come together and somehow just say, right, we're not watching Sky, they would have to change it. But unfortunately, we just haven't got the bloody staying power for it, have we? But yeah, there you go.
So, City Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot there was a game on.
hard game, to be honest. We don't have Rodri, as Rory said. We don't have Kevin De Bruyne.
Are you worried about that injury, by the way? Because now Pep's saying he might not be back until after the international break.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I don't even know what the injury is, to be honest. When is the international break? Is it coming up relatively?
We got
this week,
yeah, we got
next week, and then 2 weeks off.
Okay, so
Next
another one
weekend's
in
the last
November.
game. Yeah,
next
that's right.
weekend Premier League.
I think that City don't have any hard fixtures, but apart from the Newcastle game, then I think so. Hopefully that will be okay if he isn't out. If he is out until then.
You have Spurs away.
You've got Slovan Bratislava away in midweek.
Monster team,
Right,
mate.
yeah, sure. Wait, we
City's,
have Spurs away. Oh, is that a cup game?
No.
Yes, October 30th.
Yeah, that's not till October 30th. No, the
That's
two games you got
exactly
before the international break are Slovan Bratislava away on Tuesday night, and
Yes.
then Fulham at home.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that we can deal without Kevin De Bruyne for those 2 games. So the test will be Newcastle, and he obviously saved us last year. Like, we were 2-1 down. De Bruyne came on. We win 3-2. We're obviously not going to be able to rely on that anymore. It's going to be. I know Newcastle haven't started the season well.
You don't even have actually anyone who scored. But I'm trying to remember who scored in that comeback. So De Bruyne got the second. Oscar Bob got the third.
Bernardo got the first.
So Bernardo scored the first. He'll probably play. But then De Bruyne got the second,
Bob
and then
got
he
the
assisted the
yeah.
third. Neither Bob or De Bruyne are available.
Yeah, so
Is that a bad sign?
We didn't have Savio, and he's popping off. So he's still waiting for his first goal. He's so nearly scored against Watford. I thought he was really good against Arsenal.
Are we
that
calling
first
him
half.
Savio or Savinho? What is it, by the way?
Both work. So
Right.
his name is Savio, but Savinho means little Savio or baby Savio. It's like a nickname. So both work. It's like Hernandez.
He just wanted to sound
Chicharito.
more Brazilian, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'll probably just call him a prick when he starts running at Robertson. That'll be the extent of the name that he gets on.
I think Savio sounds better, so I call him Savio. But as I say, both are correct.
You guys know that Newcastle, I just checked the stats, because Newcastle do not excel in anything this season, but they still have 10 points.
so far.
Yeah, but they still have 10 points. Like they are 11, they're in position, they are 12th. In clean sheets, they are 7th, right? In XG, they are 11th. Shots on target, 13th. Big chances, 14th. Like they are not playing well, but they rack points because they have the quality up top.
Yeah, and it's always hard for City going away to St. James's Park. There was a period when Newcastle were our bogey team for a long time. Historically, it's not going to be easy. Need Haaland to do well, of course. I'd like to think we'll win, but you never do know.
Dan Burn is going to lock Haaland. We know that. Dan Burn.
Exactly. Depends how they play as well. Like if they go for it, then interesting. But I'm assuming they're going to sit back and counter, which is obviously worst case scenario for us.
Yeah, they're going to have
apparently Isak's a doubt for the game though.
Oh, really? Okay. That is quite big for City if that is the case.
He's got
Yeah.
a broken toe that is stiffened up after playing.
Yeah, because Gordon, Isak absolutely did us. Did
To be fair,
did
though,
Walker last season.
Harvey Barnes has been very good for Newcastle this season. I think he's the top scorer.
He's better than Rashford. I said it 2 years ago.
That's not hard to be better than Rashford.
And
though.
if Isak's out, they have Wilson's injured as well, so they got no striker if Isak's out.
Gordon will go up front, and then Harvey Barnes will go off the left.
Interesting.
These guys in here today that Gordon renewed to 23rd.
Yeah,
he's not moving to Liverpool.
But I don't need him. I got Chiesa. I'm happy with Chiesa. He got an assist on his debut. Love Federico Chiesa.
Or Newcastle
Gordon would
said,
want to own that new Hummer he got in Liverpool either, to be honest.
Or Newcastle have said, right, we'll let you go, but sign a new contract first so we can get more money for you, which quite often happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe. Does anybody here think that Newcastle will be a major player in the league this season?
No. I'm still backing them for top 4. I said it at the start of the season. I know top 4's looking a bit shaky now, but I did think I think last season, obviously, massive injuries, and then obviously no Europe for them. I thought they'd be good. They haven't started well, but it's still early, so I still think they'll be there or thereabouts, though.
Are you giving them the edge on like Villa then because they've not got any European football? Is that the edge that we're giving them?
That's what I did say pre-season. Now it's looking a bit shaky. I can't lie to you, but I'm still going to stick to my guns until at least Christmas and see what we're saying then. But if you don't get it right, he'll get the boot. He'll get the boot this time.
He will.
Yeah.
My feeling normally is that when a team is if a team's playing badly but still picking up points, a lot of their fans or people will go, "Oh, well, they're playing badly and picking up points. Think about when we start playing well." And it just normally doesn't go that way. It normally goes the opposite way and becomes, "Oh, we're playing badly. Oh, we're still playing badly, and now we're not getting points either." Like that's the way it normally goes. So yeah, I don't think that they're going to be anywhere near top 4 personally.
You can't be top 4 with Emil Kraft and Dan Burn centre backs.
They did it before. They did it with Dan Burn at left back.
Yeah,
left back is different, bro. Dan Burn playing centre back is.
But he's predominantly a centre back, though.
Right?
He's
also this kid that Lewis Hall, bro. He's not great.
No, it hasn't gone well, has it?
He's not amazing.
Who isn't?
Lewis Hall.
Yeah, I was telling everyone that.
Bro,
but apparently, I was a
Chelsea
negative.
fans were like, "How did
who would have thought?"
I'm like, he's not.
Who would have thought paying 30 million for a Chelsea youngster who didn't even really play when Chelsea were really bad was gonna be a bit of a dodgy move?
Bro, Lewis Hall hype. Do you remember when Lewis Hall was sold to Newcastle? A lot of people were like, "How do we sell this kid? He's not great." And
I just can't see.
Luke Kelly will play ahead of him all season as left back.
I can't see Newcastle doing much this season. I just think that they had to get stronger this summer, and all they done was buy goalkeepers.
Yeah, but they got
all they
Tonali
done was
back.
buy goalkeepers. Tonali comes back, sure, but defensively,
they need someone for the right side.
They actually
as well,
also
Tom.
held on to Bruno and Isak, which was like
their midfield and then attack barred the fact that Jacob Murphy is a regular starter in the year 2024, soon to be 2025. Going forward, they're not too bad. It's just their centre back partnership when it plays is decent. Botman and Shearer, both of them are injury prone. Once you move past that, it's not great, which is why they were going after Gahey so much. I think that the depth is really poor, and that's not helped by the fact that a lot of their key players. I think the only key player that isn't injury prone is Bruno Guimaraes.
I was chatting to, I can't remember, a Newcastle fan. They've told me that apparently everything in terms of like the physio side of things, fitness coaches, everything at Newcastle's changed because Paul Mitchell's brought in his right-hand man, who apparently revolutionised Monaco's fitness regime. So apparently it's looking brighter on the horizon for Newcastle's injury problems.
Did he? The only thing I know about Monaco is Taki Minamino never got injured when he played for us. Within his first 2 weeks at Monaco, he was injured. So I don't know if it's revolutionary.
I can't remember who it was I was speaking to, but one of the Newcastle fans I spoke to was just telling me that's the situation at Newcastle now because last season's issues were deemed that bad. They had to do something.
I'm just looking at it, and realistically, Fabian Schär and fucking Dan Burn are not going to stop Erling Haaland, are they?
Yeah, I don't see Newcastle picking up points in this one, to be honest with you.
I hope so.
If Kyle Walker plays, they might do.
2-2.
That will be interesting. Who plays right back, Lewis or
Man
Walker?
City, yeah. Man City are going to drop points in this game.
I think it's a draw as well, Mo. I think a draw. Yeah.
No.
Really? Yeah.
It's such a difficult place to go.
By the way, Man City defense is wide open. wide open. He's trying to
Foden.
find the right combination to actually be solid at the back, right? I know that you look at the numbers, the XG is not there, but every time someone goes against Man City, now without Rodri, they actually don't have anyone to stop the transition like Rodri does. So I think it's wide open, and with the quality of Isak
and never getting sent off.
Huh?
What like how we done it where he just tactically fouled every time and never got sent off?
They do that all the time. He has been doing this since his Barcelona time, but Guardiola, it's a tactic thing. He done it with Bayern Munich.
Start sending them off.
They don't.
You could call it dark arts.
Do you know you don't? Do you know why they
Mm.
don't? You know why they don't? And I actually speaking to referees here, and the team that has possession always it's engraved in the referee's mind that they don't do much wrong. They are the ones who are trying to attack. They are the ones who are trying to score goals. That's actually psychological. It's not bias. It's just psychologically. When you see a team that is passing the ball around 50,000 times, having position, attacking with fullbacks, attacking with everyone, you don't think that they would foul. Because normally back in the days, fouling is associated with defending. So that is just engraved in the referees. Unless they change this mentality, that the team that attacks might be playing dark arts to stop the opposition from transition, it's not going to change.
Fernandinho done it for years.
Transition.
Fernandinho done it for years. Now Rodri's doing it, and nothing gets done to stop. They'll rag people back, and half the time they don't even get booked. It happens every. No, but if they know it's a problem, because the referees will sit there and go, "Well, we know why it happens." If you know why it happens, then change. If you know the problem, then just stop being the problem.
They know the problem, but they just don't do it.
I would be more understanding if they didn't know the problem, but they openly admit it to knowing the problem. We just don't know in our heads where the team that has the ball are dead good. Yeah, when they have the ball, they don't break any rules. The moment they lose it, they're ragging everyone back.
It's the same as
they're trying to stop attacks.
If a player dives and being labeled as divers, referees go into games assuming that this guy is a diver instead of being fouled for real. That is psychological. I can't blame people unless there are clear instructions.
It's grinding my gears for years with City, especially Rodri. They just constantly dragging people back, fouling on the transition, and half the time don't even get punished properly for it. After games Rodri played in, he shouldn't have seen out. He's that much of a cheat.
It's because they rotate as well. It'll never be the same player that fouls someone twice in a row. So the referee forgets about it. It'll be Rodri that does it, then it'll be Bernardo that does it. They just
clever.
Dark arts.
It's also about because area on the pitch as well. Because if you foul someone and it's clearly in the the defending the non-City team's defensive thirds, then the referee thinks there's no dangerous attack here. I can't counter, even though potentially with one ball they're potentially in. So if you do it the deeper into opposition territory, they're less likely to do it, and City often tend to foul obviously higher up. If they foul on the halfway line and clearly pull them back, then they obviously do give a yellow, but it's also about where you do it as well.
A tactical foul is a tactical foul, and it should be dealt with as such.
Do you know what's astonishing? It actually has a name in football: tactical foul, and it doesn't get punished. It has a name now, and it doesn't get punished.
It's guaranteed booking, no.
Not anymore. No,
it's supposed to be.
It depends. Again, it depends what happens on the pitch. If it's to clearly stop a counter attack, then they obviously they normally bring it back, don't they?
I thought it was a guaranteed yellow for that as much as it is for kicking the ball away.
Fernandinho. It was always a guaranteed.
I don't think so.
Nah.
I think, or it might be one of those, where time wasting is supposed to be a yellow card, but how many times do goalkeepers actually get?
But the
time
refs
wasting?
actually use common sense and turn a blind eye to it sometimes for the protection of the game, or.
I mean, don't get me started on the goalkeepers.
The game. They don't want to get involved in the game. They don't want to ruin the game.
Goalkeepers it's always to get booked in around the 85th minute at the Etihad. It's all, and then by then it's it's too late now. He's wasted all the time. It could have happened earlier. But yeah.
Not only that. The rule that the goalkeeper's only supposed to hold onto the ball for 6 seconds. I've only ever seen that enforced against my team.
Yeah, was that Mignolet?
Mignolet held onto it for 18 seconds and got an indirect given against him. I've seen Raya hold onto the ball for near 30.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
last
that was.
game.
Yeah, I'm sure the
Yeah.
official
That was
rule is 6
6.
seconds.
I
I'm
count.
sure
I
it's
actually
6.
counted.
It's
the other day.
6.
But it's not only Ryan now. Every single goalkeeper now holds the ball and just keep thinking.
Yeah.
That thinking
Why have
process
that
takes 10
rule?
seconds by itself.
And it's
Very
worse.
odd.
It's worse because the ones that grab the ball and then flop on the floor, fucking Pickford. They have it in their hands every single time for 25
But
seconds.
that's what, because the rule isn't literally just the goalkeeper can only hold it for 6 seconds. There's some like context of the goalkeeper is only allowed to hold it for 6 seconds once they are like in a position to play the ball. So that's why they catch it, then fall over, then stay on the ground because of that.
Why didn't he just stay on the ground then? Because the 6 seconds doesn't
Forever.
start until they're up. Just lie on
Well,
the
yeah,
ground for the whole game.
I guess some other rule would probably come into it then. I guess because there's literally a rule about getting around rules. It's like, you know, that if you flick the ball up to head it back to your keeper,
Yeah.
it's a yellow
Oh,
card.
yeah, you're not allowed to
Indirect
do
free
that.
kick and a
And a
yellow
foul.
card. We've
Yeah,
done
there's
with
like
that
a
before.
specific rule about that as well. but-
Perisic done it for Inter, and then he got a yellow card, and he looked baffled.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's been-
Verratti once did it as well. I remember
And
Verratti did it
yes.
and got booked, and he was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
No, he went down with his head, and
Oh
hit it
yeah,
from-
yeah.
and then he got booked, and he was like, "Oh, but I used my head." I'm like, okay. Craig Lee, Newcastle fan. Haaland doesn't do well against BDB. That's
What's that mean?
Big
Dan
Dan
Burn.
Burn.
Big
Dan
Big Dan
Burn.
Burn.
Oh.
Damber.
Ah.
We'll see, Craig. I hope so. Will Usula will start, our cheap secret weapon, the Danish guy.
Who?
Danish.
Who?
They have a striker up as a young.
I've never heard. Sorry, I've never heard this man. Let me go have a look at him.
Is this like when they kept talking about that? What was his name? What was his name? Gran Kool or whatever his name was.
He's from Denmark. This kid.
A
They
Newcastle
signed him
team.
from Sheffield United.
I've
Big
never
up-
seen the guy play
big
football,
up the
but
Bloody Blades.
21 years old.
yeah.
He scored
Oh,
3
guys,
goals for
guys,
Sheffield
we
United
know
last year.
that Isak will start. If Isak doesn't start, I will just resign to the idea that teams are going to Man City games assuming a loss, and if they get
They do
something,
that.
they're okay with that.
They do
I mean,
do that. That's well known.
he does have a broken toe. It's not like he's just, oh, I can't be bothered. He does have a broken toe, apparently.
They're not going to rush him back for a City game that they think that they'll probably lose when they've got Everton away next weekend, which is a big, tough
They paid
game.
15
Yeah.
million for
They
that.
should get
Yeah.
3 points.
Don't aggravate the injury. Rest him, yeah?
Do you think they do that? They wouldn't do that against Arsenal, to be honest.
Some do. We
I
got
think
to a
they
point
would
last
do.
season where it did start happening, where people just assumed that they would lose to Arsenal.
Okay.
I think more teams, and like for Arsenal, it would maybe be that the bottom 5 or 6 teams would think that way. For Newcastle, it's basically anyone that isn't top 3 seems to do it. But it makes sense to an extent.
Going to moving on from Manchester, guys, it's almost about like 750, 800 people here.
I
guys.
thought this was my job.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
Do you know how many? Do you know
the
even how
banners
many
at the
people
bottom.
watching?
You just interrupted him doing it again.
Yeah, no, because it's my
Did
job
you
today,
notice that?
apparently. No, because it's my job today. After I interrupted
Yeah.
him the first time, he just gave me the job. Listen to the banner at the bottom, people. Mo can add any words he wants to that. That banner is the king. So yeah. What's next topic, Mo?
No, fuck off, bro.
Mad.
No, but to be honest with you, like, guys, we really need the likes up. We can get 1,000 people here if you guys hit that like button up. And actually, I'm really close to 25k, very, very close. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for anyone. Also, everyone's channels in the description as well. Joe, Dan, Rory, Nobbins, who's going live at 6, and Rory going live at 6:30. You know it. You know it. Put it in your calendar.
My channel's not in the description because I've pissed me off too much. It got the least after I interrupted them.
It is. To be honest, it is but it's the last one. To be honest, just to be honest, it's the last one.
Bottom of the description, you got to scroll them.
Smash the likes, people. Smash the likes. I actually want to talk about what Roy Keane said about the game. I was sent that clip yesterday by my friend Imran, the Man City fan, was on the show, and I watched it, and that was my take on it. I don't want to spend a lot on it, but because we've spoken about it before. But the point that people said about Arsenal way of playing against Manchester City, I just wanted to get Rory's take on it. What I don't know if you watched the that podcast or not.
Yes, yeah.
So basically, just to explain to the people what he said he doesn't mind that nobody actually criticized Arsenal for defending. It was all about when you had the ball, a goal kick, or when Man City overturned it, that you should have been taking, as Arsenal, as a good team, you should be taking care of the ball better than just booting it to the opposition's half and start defending again. I get that defending with 10 men in a low block, like Liverpool did against Spurs. But when Liverpool had the ball against Spurs, still they tried to create something with it, at least to give rest to the defenders. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying open up and go press Man City. I hear what he's saying, that you defended brilliantly, but you played as a team that doesn't want the ball. We don't want the ball. We're going to just put it to a throw in. We're going to boot it to Ederson so they can restart. Do you agree or disagree with this?
I agreed with what we did completely. I think the idea that we were going to play it, Man City are the hardest team to play through in the league quite comfortably when you've got 11 men. The idea that we should try and do that with 10 men, where does it lead you to? Because at some point you're either as in, so you're going to play out from the back. How far are you going to go play?
Many things.
Are you going to go up to halfway?
I can answer this. Man City pushed every player. If you play through the press, you might have gotten 2-on-2, right? 1-on-1, because Man City were pushing everyone. And that, number one, is that in football, and when we're speaking tactically now, it's not banter. And that in football, coached, that it engraves in the opposition's defender that there is still danger. I can push that high. I need to alert defensively, right? There is fear. You know what I mean? That pushes the opposition a little bit deeper. It gives you more space.
But we didn't need space. Actually, not having any space was helping us. The more space there was, the harder we had to work. So you push up and you say, okay, but you might create a chance on the break. You might also lose the ball trying to play out from the back and concede a cheap goal. And I feel like the whole thing has been like the whole. We lost that. Oh, we drew that game. Felt like a loss. We drew that game because in the 97th minute we switched off and no one went and closed down the short corner. Everything up until that point was the correct thing to win that game. We'd held them off. We'd really not even conceded that many big chances. And it's only that lack of concentration right at the, virtually the final kick of the game that is the reason that we've drawn that game. And if that hadn't happened, everyone would be looking at it going, well, they did the right thing. So I don't buy into this. Yeah, sure, we could have played a different way and maybe we scored on the counter and go 3-1 up. Equally, we could just have easily have conceded 10 minutes into the second half playing that way. And then it's 2-2. And then your heads are down. You're not even holding on to 3 points. Then you concede another, you lose the game. And everyone goes, wow, that was naive. That was immature. That was soft underbelly. So, yeah, I think we did the right thing. And I maintain that.
Joe?
I guess it's slightly different because Arsenal were in front. But Leeds United did go to the Etihad, 10 men, and win in stoppage time 2-1. So, and that was Leeds United. So it can be done, but it is slightly different because obviously Arsenal were leading the game, so therefore they had no need to go forward in a sense. I guess if the game was levelled, Arteta might have left them with an outlet, but he probably thought, you know what, I'm going to back my lads to shut it out.
I completely agree. And actually, Roy Keane demonstrated how little he actually watches football because he claimed that we did the same thing against Brighton, and that is fact. I was at the game, and I can tell you for free, we did attack against Brighton still. We actually had 2 really good opportunities to win against Brighton, one with Havertz, one with Saka. We actually created more XG in the second half against Brighton with 10 men than we did in the first half with 11 men. So the issue with Roy Keane is he doesn't actually watch the football that he's talking about, I don't think, a lot of the time. And I also think that whole crop of pundits, they're all kind of similar age bracket to Arteta. Roy Keane's a bit older, but they're all from the same generation. And I think they look at what Arteta is doing compared to how they completely flopped in management themselves. And I think they're a bit jealous of it. I think it angers them a bit because they constantly try and pull him down where they wouldn't if it was an older manager. I think if an older manager had done what Arteta did in that game, they'd have praised it. But they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder that he's doing something that they couldn't, and he's there. Well, he's actually younger than them. So that's where I think. I mean, Graham Souness was actually by far had the worst take on it, but I think.
Do you
he's
think
got some-
people are early to judge Arsenal? Like we have to wait until the next 6-7 games?
Yeah,
Is
obviously.
it too early to judge how you play and all this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. People are bringing up stats. We've played 2 games with 10 men for 45 minutes. 2 of the remaining 3 games where we weren't down to 10 men were away at Villa, which is a very difficult place to go, and we
Yes.
got the win, and away at Spurs without Declan Rice or Martin Odegaard. The only game that has been probably what you would consider like a normal game that you might expect from Arsenal this season was Wolves at home on the opening day, where we were relatively full strength. We didn't go down to 10 men against a relatively normal team. So, yeah, I think people are jumping the gun massively talking about Arsenal being too defensive and not creative. I know, sure, we are less creative without Odegaard than with him. No one's denying that. But, yeah, I think people have massively jumped the gun.
But I'm looking at Arsenal now. I actually did not expect you to get that many points of the Spurs and the Man City game. And that's why you had the most difficult start. You're still 2 points behind City, if I'm not mistaken. 2 points or 1 point?
Yeah.
Right?
2 points behind.
That's why you are favorites. You are expected to win the majority of the games left, apart from Liverpool. That's why Arsenal should be favorites.
This is the thing. I made a video about it yesterday, but that was the thing. It was like at the start of the season, we looked at the opening 5 games, which included Brighton at home. You'd feel like you should win, and we didn't. But then you look at Villa away, Spurs away, City away, and even without any of the context of what has actually happened, I think we'd still have said, well, if we can get through that first 5 games and we're 2 points off City, that's not a bad place to be in. Then you add in the context that we've had Declan Rice out suspended. We've had 2 games where we've been down to 10 men. We've had Martin Odegaard out injured. Marino hasn't even played for us yet. If you've thrown in all of that context on top of it, I think you'd look at it and go, yeah, 2 points behind City at this stage. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I know why people just keep looking at Arsenal downplay the chances of winning the league. I don't know.
I don't think people are downplaying them at this point. I think everyone's going on about how
You
they
can't
must.
talk no Chest Liverpool. You just can't talk. You
I'm
downplay
not-
your chances of winning the league.
Right,
yourself.
okay, I'm not. I didn't even mention my club. I'm just saying the general reaction now has been since the Rodri injury, everyone expected Arsenal to go and win the league. Well, not everyone, but most people expect Arsenal to take this chance to go and win the league.
I didn't think that Arsenal would absolutely be like this in the first, but Arteta proved that he is managing game by game. Is he going to win the league like this? I don't know. I'm waiting for the next 7 games.
You know, he was asked. Arteta was asked today about the way that we've played football so far this season, and he said, "I'd rather be on YouTube at the end of the season for getting things right than be on YouTube today for doing something wrong." And I think that his point was, if he had opened up against City and we'd been battered or even lost the game, people would have been criticizing him far more. And he's right. Like, I don't think it seems like the only way Arsenal could have come out of that game
I think you are
with
getting
praise.
it wrong, Rory. I think some of the Arsenal fans, I don't think you understand my point when I said no one said you should open up, but people said you should have taken care of the ball better. That is the point. Not open up and press and do what you did again in the 4-1. You remember the 4-1 and the 3-1? No one says that, because no one in the world should do that against Man City. No one should do that, right? You'll get torn apart. But that's no one said that. But anyway, I don't think we should judge Arsenal based on the first 5 games. I think we should just wait. I am waiting for the PSG game at home and the Liverpool game at home for Arsenal. These 2 games will absolutely indicate to me how Arteta is actually planning to play this season against tougher opposition. These 2 games are. Like, if he plays against PSG and he plays counter-attacking football, that means he is going to change the plan based on the opposition every game, depending on who he's playing.
We did that last season. If you look at every away game against a big team last season, we let them have possession. We let them have the ball. We were tight defensively, and we tried to nick it 1 or 2-0. Like, that's consistently been his tactic away against big teams. Not necessarily at home. Play differently at home, but yeah, that's kind of what he does, and it's worked so far. I mean, literally, our results against the big 6 over the last 12 to 18 months are better than anyone else's.
Dial Square here saying Mo is far, instead of having space, you to write an N, is far too hyperbolic, and often jump the gun. You can't say our season is over 2 weeks ago. Now we are favorites. The swing is too big. Rory, big up Rory. Use the PTG.
He's saying Roy used to park the bus at Highbury.
Roy.
When Roy Keane was a player, they
Roy.
used to do
Okay,
that.
let me explain to you my point about this. If when circumstances change, logically speaking, you would not have picked Arsenal without Odegaard to go to the Etihad and get a point, especially when they went down to 10 men. That's logically speaking, right? No one here sat and said, "Oh, without Odegaard, man, Arsenal are going to the Etihad and they're gonna get." Because I didn't see Rodri getting ACL after 20 minutes. I didn't see that. I didn't anticipate this. As for Spurs, I still thought that, logically speaking, that Spurs game could have ended in a draw if it wasn't for a corner for Arsenal. That was the most likely outcome of that game without Martin Odegaard, which is a massive factor in how Arsenal create chances, right? And now Arsenal did it. So I changed my opinion. I actually still don't think Arsenal are favorites. I don't. I never said that, even with Rodri's injury. I think there's more pressure on Arsenal, but Arsenal aren't favorites. Still, it's more pressure.
Yeah, I think that you've hit the nail on the head there. I think it goes up a level because it's like they ain't got Rodri, but I sort of tend to agree with you. I think rival fans will say they're favourites, but just because they've lost Rodri doesn't automatically make them.
We have to remember that they have the player that scored more goals than any other team, not a player than any other team.
Yeah. And look, I know. Well, it's not comparable actually. Leave it alone. Go on.
Now speaking about Chelsea, though. Claims done.
Going well, aren't they? Going well. Surprised?
Let me do this. Rodri out hits City, making Arsenal favorites. Not my opinion, Warren. Not my opinion. Other people's opinion. Odegaard out is the same equivalent hit to Arsenal. I actually think Odegaard being out for Arsenal is actually more detrimental to a team than Rodri being out for this City team. Because the Arsenal have no replacement for Odegaard. Do everybody agree with this, right? Like Nwaneri is okay on paper, is not.
Yeah.
It will be a surprise if he. It takes time to be Odegaard, right? Odegaard didn't come out of the blue and become Odegaard now. Arsenal favorites, no. Who do Arsenal have to replace Odegaard versus City? That's what we're talking about, Warren. No one. Unless someone else has a different opinion about this. Does anybody else have a different opinion? Is anybody here on this panel think that Arsenal are favorites now?
Yeah, I do. But the difference here is that Odegaard's not out.
Oh my God, everyone but me. Everyone but me.
The difference is Odegaard's not out for the season.
Yeah, Odegaard should be out.
Okay,
That's a weird
and
comparison.
people in the chat.
It's not the same thing in the slightest.
Okay, let's hear the chat. Guys in the chat, honest, no banter, nothing. Just type one word, Arsenal or City. Who is favorites now to win the Premier League in your opinion? Just one word.
If Odegaard was out for the season, I'd be saying, yeah, like City are monumental favourites because there's no way Arsenal could go the whole season without Odegaard.
This is so strange. You just can say your opinion here. You just don't need to type it.
Yeah, but I'm talking too much, man. I'm trying to let other people. So I just typed it for you, mate. I'm improving the engagement in the chat, which will draw likes and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, where's my banner gone?
Huh?
Where's my banner gone on the bottom of the video?
Your banner?
Yeah. There we go. Now the likes will be back. You worry about the likes?
Nobbins,
Hello.
who do you think is favorites, and can you elaborate a little bit?
I told you earlier. Why aren't you listening? This is why
you
never be together.
He was the one person who asked earlier.
We can be together. I'm a married guy, and you
crazy. Yeah, that's what they all say. You're just like the rest, aren't you? Always letting me down, never listening.
No, you said Arsenal. You said Arsenal, right?
Rationally, yes.
Is that because Rodri's out? That's it.
Well, before the start of the season, I said that, before we signed Gundogan, I said that City can't go 2 years on the bounce without having adequate, cover for like a emphasis on like a short-term Rodri absence. I don't think, I obviously didn't anticipate Rodri being out for the entirety of the season. So I changed my mind based on the fact that Rodri would now have a little bit of help. But again, logically, rationally, I can only look at it as I know that Rodri is our most important player, and now he's not going to be here for the whole season. So I think the only reasonable conclusion I can reach is that I don't think that I can comfortably say that, if you want me to be honest, that we will win it. But again, I'm living in
But Arsenal are favorites. That doesn't make any sense. You said Arsenal are favorites, but you will win the league at the end.
No, I said I don't think we will.
You don't think? Okay,
No,
sorry.
no. But again, that's being logical. But if I'm living in the world of hope, I still haven't yet seen how Pep will figure out the Rodri problem. We'd started the season without him, and we looked quite good. So maybe there is hope. But I thought we were going to get like mid to high 90 points this season. Maximum we're now going to get is like 90, something like that. It's not going to be like 95, etc. It's going to be more like 90, 91-ish, I think.
I have a scenario for you. Liverpool will go to the Emirates, win against Arsenal, and be favorites to win the league.
No, we won't be.
Okay.
No. We're just
Why are
playing this
Liverpool
game by
not?
game.
Why are Liverpool not even in the conversation there?
I don't want to be in the conversation.
It's not about. No,
I
it's
want
not
it to be
about
everyone
to you to be. I don't want to be in the
It's
conversation.
up to them, Rory. It is up to them, Rory. Sam,
thought
But
we
why
said they
are
are.
you not?
Jamie Phillips, Jerry James, each and every one of them, Rory, they sit and say, no.
It's because history's against him in respect to the new manager, potentially. That's why.
If any time I've been asked about what I think will happen, I say we need a lot of luck, but we can win the title this season. That is the extent of it. If Odegaard was to miss the whole season through an injury, and Rodri was to miss the whole season through an injury, and we were to not get any injuries, yes, I'd probably make us favourites, slight favourites.
I now think it'll go to the last day of the season, and all three teams will have a chance to win the title. That's my new theory.
And City will win it, of course, because once it goes to the last day of the season, City will win it.
You're assuming that City are in the lead at that point.
It doesn't matter.
Even if
It
they're
does. The title has never been won on the last day of the season by a team which wasn't already leading that day.
No.
It should have been.
Yeah,
It should have been in 2021-22, but Steven Gerrard took off fucking Coutinho and brought and let everyone run at Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, big up Gundogan, big him up.
2-0 up when he fucked it up.
Big up Kevin and Raheem the Dream. Big him up. He got that first assist. He got the
I
ball
actually
rolling.
think, logically speaking, Liverpool are in the picture.
Of course they are.
Obviously, we are. We were in the picture last year. I just don't want everyone to, in media-wise, drag us in because I'd rather not have them conversations. But I understand that we are in those conversations, and we are a team that is going to be up in and around there this year. Because, like I've been saying the whole time, Arne Slot has fixed the biggest problem we had last year. He's fixed the reason why we couldn't stay in the title race last year. We've conceded 1 goal all season. Our XG against is like some of the lowest in the league, and half of it has come. Well, half the XG we've conceded has come when we've been 3-0 up in games. So United and Bournemouth, that's where the majority of it's come from. So in tight games and in the majority of games, we are so solid defensively. We still have a good attack. Obviously, we're going to be up and around there. I just quite like the fact that like Sky Sports or whoever aren't dragging us into these conversations yet, because it just means that there's not as much pressure on the team whilst they get the fully picking up Arne Slot style. Do I think we could win it this year? Yeah, because it's not a million miles away from what we were doing last year in terms of the style. It's just more,
Tom, what's
structured.
happening with the contracts, bro?
Fucking who knows? Who knows?
Nothing.
That's why
I'm hoping that
there
they
should
get
be
done
some pressure on.
in-
That's why
in
there should be
Liverpool.
some pressure on. Win the league before all of those players leave. Before all your world class players disappear. That's why there should be pressure.
You do need to win now.
Yeah, it's now or never, really.
I think once Van Dijk renews
it's
in
tough.
December, Salah renews, Trent renews, we're not going to have the same conversation.
Yeah, if all three,
Who cares?
I get the feeling that, well, head wise, well, heart wise, should I say? I get the feeling that all of them will renew because there's enough shown this season for them to go. Okay, within 3 years, we'll be spending the next 3 years competing at the top level in all these competitions, which is we don't have a 0% chance of winning it.
Not what?
That's not true.
Mo gaslights Liverpool fan. It's a new thing, by the way. That is just now. It's
Oh, no,
started.
that's true.
I went to the football terrace, bro, and the first comment was, "Oh yeah, the gaslighter of Liverpool is here." Bro, it's Redline Taranga, one of the guys, and HUSAM,
Mhm.
and they say I gaslight Liverpool because I say they have a chance of winning the league, and it's not 5%. It is not. I believe the chances now are 40, 40, 20.
Yeah, probably about that. I had City as a slight edge before Rodri got injured. I'd probably say it's now
Equal half.
The thing is-
I'm not going to say
45,
42
35,
and 38 and 20%, like 40, 40 and 20% for Liverpool.
I'll go
it's
50% City, 30% Arsenal, 20% Liverpool.
But you just said that Arsenal are favourites. That don't make any sense.
But I also said I'm living in the world of hope.
I mean, you said it yourself, Tom. Liverpool's defense right now is the best defense in the league. On Monday, you were arguing that Liverpool have the best attack in the league.
It's actually the best defense in Europe. Thank you.
There you
very
go,
much.
so you got the best defense in Europe. On Monday on this show, you were arguing that you've got the best attack in the league, better than Man City's attack.
Yeah.
So why?
Oh no,
are you not-
I know. We should be in these conversations.
Well, why are you
I'm
not
quite happy that
favourites?
I'm quite. The reason we're not favourites is because depth-wise, in certain areas, i.e., midfield, it's not great. I know that Jones can come in and do a job, but if we were to lose Gravenberch, then you've got to sort of move everyone around. If you lose Szoboszlai, you've got to move everyone around. It's not like just natural replacements. If we lose a guy, everyone else has to kind of shift into a different position to try, so we can try and slot someone in there. I know that we're up there. I've maintained that when I'm asked. I just quite like the fact that we've not got the pressure on us at the minute. The pressure will come, I reckon, because we've got that run of games coming up from after the international break until just into the start of December, where we play pretty much every big team. We've got like Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Leverkusen. There's one more in there as well, Leipzig, I think, and there might be one or two more Prem games in there, which are quite tough.
From after the international break, got
So
Chelsea.
it starts with Chelsea. That's all I know.
Chelsea at home, Leipzig away, Arsenal away, Brighton away, Brighton at home because you played them in the play them midweek in the Leverkusen at home, Villa at home. Then you got a little breather where you got Southampton away, but that's followed by Madrid at home, City at home, Newcastle away, Everton away, and then you're into
I reckon at one point in that run, if we keep what we're doing going at the minute in terms of the same levels of performance, we will get dragged into that conversation. But as much as I don't think our fans want to be dragged into it, we will get dragged into it because we are a team that can, with the luck.
Can I ask you a question? Should be looking to win the league?
Yes, we should be looking to win the league every year.
Should that be the target? Everybody here thinks Liverpool's target should be winning the league, not just comfortably being third.
Liverpool should be looking to win the league every year.
Why are you shaking your head, Joe?
Because the expectancy. No, I don't. No, I don't think so. No, not in what would be perceived as a transitional season. Liverpool fans might have a difference of opinion, but when a new manager walks in the door, fair enough if you weren't competing with Arsenal and City, but I just don't think no. The answer's no for me. Anyway.
Can I counter
if they did, it would be an amazing. It would be huge. I want to counter that for something.
Yeah.
Go on, then. I'm gonna put a hypothetical for you, Joe.
Yes.
If Pep Guardiola leaves Manchester City, this hypothetical, and goes to Real Madrid, is the aim that season is to win the La Liga?
Yeah, but it's not Real Madrid and it's not Pep. It's Liverpool and it's Arne Slot. It's totally different.
I think at the start. Sorry, go on, man.
Just one more, Rory, and then I'm gonna let you just to go on. If Man City win the league this season, and Pep leaves, and they get a Luis Enrique, do you think he should be expected to win the league?
Sorry, say that again. I was reading some of the comments because I just think
Pep leaves this season. They win the league this season. Their team is the best.
Yeah.
They signed Jamal Musiala in the summer, or the team is ready. Rodri is back. They signed Luis Enrique to replace Pep. Should the aim for Man City to be winning the league?
Yeah, in that scenario.
So why is it different for Liverpool? Is it because it's Arne Slot? Is the question you should ask yourself? I think
there's a case of it being Arne Slot. There's also a case of the competition that he's going up against in City and Pep and Arsenal and Arteta. And everyone who's calling me whatever, like, that's fine, but not one person on this panel said that Liverpool, or not just on this panel, anywhere really, said that Liverpool were genuine title contenders. So the fact that after that, well, you may have more, but you're just mad, aren't you? But the fact after 6 games, we're now saying they've got to be in the conversation is far too wild. It's wild. I even felt last season it was a little bit wild, to be honest.
I think at the start of the season, it was absolutely fair to say that there shouldn't be an expectation that Liverpool be up there, etc., etc. But the thing is now, from where we are now, I think so much has changed. You're looking at, you're going, okay, Rodri's out for the season.
Yep.
Massive blow for City. And for Liverpool, like, they've addressed a lot of the problems that they had. So from this position, you've got, okay, Luis Diaz is no longer a donkey. Gravenberch
yes, with Diaz, yes.
Right now,
get to December. I need to see him in December still scoring.
Diaz isn't a donkey. Gravenberch has solved their midfield issue. They look more solid defensively. So you're like, from this specific point, I think you can say that actually the expectation should be there for them to carry on.
So if you're willing to do that for Liverpool, then what I would say in response to you, Rory, is you must. You must. Because if you're willing to say that because Diaz is playing well and, you know, Gravenberch is having a renaissance or whatever at Liverpool, then Arsenal must win the league because you were way ahead of Liverpool. So if you're willing to put enough weight on Rodri and Liverpool having a nice bit of form, then Arsenal must. And you're saying
I said my favourites.
You did?
My favourites.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough then. Fair. You must.
I think with the Liverpool are a team that should always be trying to win titles. I think going into the season, I would have accepted that the minimum expectation was to have somewhat of a similar season to last season in terms of
how many titles have you won? How many Premier Leagues have you won?
19
Premier Leagues. Let's do recent. Because I can say we've won the Premier League then, and we haven't. We won the last First Division. Come on, Premier Leagues.
Since it got a name change, we've won it once.
Okay, so why should you be in the conversation for winning leagues all the time?
Because we've won 19 of them.
No, I'm on about now though. We're talking recent. I know we can go back because we can say that Villa then should be winning the Champions League this season because they've won it twice, which is more than some. So, but that's not what we're doing.
No, because
now,
context.
Everton should be in the. Everton won more titles than Chelsea.
That's what I'm saying. So if we're talking in the modern era, look, I just don't look. I get Klopp did amazing for Liverpool, but look, let's take it back to pre-Klopp.
Are you being serious, Joe? Or you're bantering. I'm being
serious, bro. I think
you're having a poker face now when you talk, and I'm really.
No, I'm being serious. I think it's a genuine conversation because at the end of the day, like pre-Klopp, well, we're having these that Liverpool should be in the conversation for titles. We did not.
Oh, they were having them in Liverpool. They were having those conversations.
And I agree, John. And I agree. But half of the job that was done under Klopp was to put us in a position to be in this spot where we can sit there every year and say we should be challenging for league titles, we should be winning league titles. It wasn't just a case of when Jurgen Klopp was here. It all of a sudden came out the blue. We have for years beforehand. We were actually going for league titles in the late 2000s, just before Benitez left. We came second by a couple of points, and we ran them close throughout the 2000s as years. There was about 2 or 3 different seasons. Rodgers, that team shouldn't have done, but like the Benitez team could have won a league. It had the quality to win a league.
That was
the Houllier, Luis Suarez tax in 2013-14. The Houllier team from 02-03, I think it was. 01-02 or 02-03. That came second to Arsenal. The points gap was pretty big, but then we fucked it up the next one by not signing an Elke and instead signing El Hadj fucking Diouf. And it's stuff like that where we've been in a position a number of times where we just haven't made the next step. We finally have a much more stable, as much as I think that the dickheads, and I'd like them to go because they don't rate the fans, the ownership group have made Liverpool much more stable.
Yeah.
And have given Liverpool the infrastructure to sit at the top table of European football when it comes to a stadium and a training ground, which we didn't necessarily have in the years gone by. What I don't want us to do it's go back to what it was beforehand, where we have decent players and then we become a selling club because we're a team that should be trying to be there but can't do it, and we occasionally get a nice run in the Champions League because of European heritage and stuff. At the end of the day, Jurgen Klopp built us back up and built our reputation and everything back up to what it is now, to where we should be challenging and winning titles and competing in the top honours year in year out.
Joe, who do you think is more successful in the Premier League era as an English club, Arsenal or Liverpool?
Arsenal.
How?
On a purely Premier League basis, it's Arsenal because they've got
no,
more.
but that's not how I measure success. Because as an English
they've won
club,
the most. They've won the most FA Cups. They've won
Liverpool
more league
won
titles.
2 Champions League finals, went to 5.
No, I get that, but for me,
But
I get
we're not
that,
only
but Arsenal-
measuring the league, we're measuring your success as an English club, because you don't only play in the league, because you play in the Champions League while you play in the league as well. So Arsenal won 3 titles, right? In terms of 3 Premier Leagues, right? The 98, 2002. Liverpool won 2 Champions Leagues, went to 5 finals.
I will never ever
and
question
won
Liverpool
1
in
Premier
Europe,
League.
ever.
So
But I never question Liverpool in Europe. I don't think
that is
any of it.
part
None of
of
us
you
can.
being an English club.
No, I hear
You
that.
playing
but-
in Europe, you play in Europe, not in the different season. You play while you play in the Premier League. I would argue that Liverpool, as an English club in the Premier League era, has been more successful, especially in the last.
But
5 years.
I think Tom would even disagree with you.
I'm looking at the trophies now. The thing is,
I'm not
it
fact.
comes down.
This is my
it comes
opinion,
down to
guys.
where you weight it. It comes down to the way that you weight it. So
Yes.
with us,
I weight the Champions League more than the Premier League, of course.
So I'm just trying to find our list of trophies just so I
I
can
think
figure
you're
out.
on your own here, though. I think Rory,
because I know that Arsenal.
Rory disagree, I know,
Arsenal have,
but I explained my reason why I think that Liverpool are more successful.
are we counting Community Shields or not?
No.
Right. Okay. So since the Premier League, Arsenal have won 3 Premier Leagues, including an invincible season, 1 Cup Winners' Cup, 9 FA Cups, and a League Cup.
What is a Cup Winners' Cup?
It was
That
an
is the
older
Cup
It
Winners'
is what it
Cup.
says it is. If you won
Okay, that is the one
the
game.
country's domestic cup, you went into a competition in Europe.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have in that time, so since the start of the Premier League, won 1 Premier League, 2 Champions Leagues, a UEFA Cup or a Europa League, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 League Cups, 3 FA Cups, and 3 UEFA Super Cups and a Club World Cup.
That's not even comparable. They're not even comparable in the Premier League era. Just because they won 1 doesn't mean Arsenal are better than. And that's not me bantering Arsenal. I'm just responding to your point. What gives Liverpool the right to be in the conversation? All of this. The fact that they were very close. No, you're not convinced.
No,
I'm wrong.
because
I'm wrong.
I disagree because
I think
pre-Klopp, you're taking away 1 Champions League and a Premier League, and no one's having this conversation about
Okay,
Liverpool.
so
Nobody.
pre Pep Guardiola, Man City aren't even in the
No,
conversation.
but that's
we're
money. That's
including
different,
the.
bro. That's different.
Why
man.
is it different, Joe? Why is
Of
it
course
different?
it is, man.
Why is
Oh,
it
but
different?
mate, look. I just don't look. My main point, right? My main point is we can go around about the houses and all that sort of stuff. My main point was, I don't think Liverpool should be expected to win the league this season. And Liverpool, now with 6 games in or whatever, I don't think we should be in the conversation for a title. Like we're there. I don't think anyone's having that convo.
Rory, do you agree with him that Liverpool should not be in the conversation?
No, I think he does.
No. He
agreed,
said because of the 6 games, but I want to ask him about the opinion of this Liverpool team.
Do I generally think that Liverpool should have an expectation to win the Premier League every year? Is that
Yes,
what
because that forget this year of 6. No, they shouldn't.
No.
Should Arsenal?
We are the thing is with us
Hold on,
and Liverpool's
Tom,
history.
just give me a second. Should Arsenal?
Who are you asking?
I'm asking
No.
Rory because he said Liverpool shouldn't. No, so who are the teams that should?
Not
be
every year.
asked?
I don't think there are any teams now.
Isn't it? Yeah,
I don't think there are, because you used to say Arsenal United should every year because of the periods that we had. But now United have spent years in the abyss. We spent years in the abyss, but now we're back. But there's nothing to stop us going back there, really. So I don't think there's any team the one team that actually should think that they should be in the conversation every year for Premier League is Man City, because if they fuck it all up from here, from everything that they've built, everything they've amassed, like other than if the Premier League takes it from them, if they fuck it up from here, they've fucked it up. But for everyone else, no, I don't think there should be just an expectation that you have a right to be competing for the league every year.
Football's cyclical, man. Goes in cycles. I always maintain this. Football goes in cycles, and we're seeing that now. Because Liverpool,
not in Spain though, not in Spain.
Okay, well, in England, because it's more competitive.
Because
it
there are
goes in
5
cycles.
good teams. Because there are 5 good teams.
No, because we
5
can
big
go
teams.
back to the dawn of time, and Leeds had an era. You spoke
Yeah.
about Everton. Football's cyclical. There will be times where teams have.
The problem is the money.
Huddersfield were the best team in England in the 1930s.
There you go. But obviously, the Premier League changed the game, didn't it? Because it then created a massive gap with those that were winning at that time, I guess. Do you know what I mean? And that's why we got the top 4, and then we had the big, And I mean, there's hopes within. I know this is totally off point, but there's hopes with the powers that be at Leeds United that they're saying there's going to be a big 8, and they want to be in that conversation for a big 8. They think that that's going to be the next thing. And do you know what? When you actually deep it, you could see it with Newcastle's rise to prominence. No, in the Premier League.
I don't think Spurs will ever
I
be
did
a top
wonder
club.
for a minute.
Right, sticking it to me, Aya.
I
But
don't think
no,
Spurs will ever
a
be a
big
top
8.
club, to be honest with
No,
you.
but you've got to be, because that'll be the next thing. Because if Villa continue to be in the conversation with the backing and the manager they've got, I can see it. Newcastle, obviously, if how goes, then there's another 2
But
additional teams.
Who's dropping out of that big 8 for Leeds to get in?
Well, that's up to the powers that be, right?
Tottenham
But what I will say, we're getting a 53,000 seater stadium, which puts us the 7th biggest in the UK, which again is a bit mad for me. When that was announced and it came out that
Wait,
that's
leaving
the
Elland
7th.
Road?
No, we're just adding a bit like.
I was going to say, if she's left Elland Road, that'll be a horrendous decision.
But my thing is, when that came out and it said it'll be the 7th biggest in the in England, that took me by surprise, because we haven't done anything to that stadium for years, and we go straight into 7. You've got Arsenal above us. It'd be more than what Chelsea are pumping out. So the revenue and that is there for Leeds. We just need a successful team, and we will be there, man. Trust me. But
You just needed to stick to Bielsa. You would have been in the Premier League now.
You're not filling 53,000 seats in the
The
Championship.
thing is with us,
well, we've got over 20,000 season ticket waiting list, and we sell out week in, week out. So I'd say we would
20,000 season ticket waiting list.
Yeah, and we sell out week in, week out. So
that's a lot.
Leeds are a big club with a good fan. I think just real quick on Liverpool in this era, we've always been better as a cup team. That's why there's the European pedigree there, because it's a cup football, and we have for years before Jurgen Klopp got here, we were better set up to be a cup team. We never had a good enough team that could win a league, bar two occasions. Even I don't count 13-14 as being good enough. We could have won it, should have won it, but that team should never have been in the conversation to win it. When it comes to Liverpool, we were always a team that could do well in a domestic cup because you had pace and attack and 1 or 2 game changers in your team. Now we have a solid, really good squad of players with a structure and system and manager that is suited and has been suited to league football. You still can see the elements of cup football with Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool played cup football under Klopp a lot of the time. Counter-attacking football is regarded as cup football because it's one-off games, so you can get away with it and this, that, and the other. We are trying... I think Arsenal have always been, in my lifetime anyway, more of a league team, hence 17 or 18 or however many years it was, finishing in the top 4. And the FA Cup, obviously, because... Again, I think that's a heritage thing. Arsenal and FA Cups go well. We had to try and make ourselves a league team, and we did successfully. The one that I'll be interested to see is how Arsenal try and develop their club to be a cup team. Because the one thing I will say is, and Rory can correct me if I'm wrong, Arsene Wenger's football wasn't necessarily cup football in terms of European cup football.
Wasn't European cup football, yeah.
He was too... sort of set on his ways, which isn't a bad thing. He played some lovely football, but in European football, you've got to be willing to change and make sacrifices and do it differently, which Wenger wouldn't do. I think Arteta will do that, But it's about it when it comes to getting over that hurdle the first time. There's a lot of different aspects to it. I think for us, we are trying to re-cement ourselves as a league team again.
Let me do this. Soraida here is saying Liverpool wins. HUSAM can't celebrate. Yes. No chest, no party.
Am I allowed to celebrate?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've had so much.
I am waiting for you. I'm waiting. When you win some games and you go to Arsenal and get a point or get 3 points, I'm waiting for it. Would you have chest or no? Jack House saying when City are sent to League One, Klopp 3 Premier League, I don't think they're gonna hand the Premier League title.
Oh
Not
no,
how it
no.
works. It's not how it works.
In my mind,
Unless
it will
you
be.
cheated with the referees and you're proving that you got points that you shouldn't have, it's not going to be given to
But
you.
equally, if that
what
does
happened-
happen, then
Come on.
Arsenal then become 5 times Champions League, Premier League winners. So
What happens with
Sometimes.
what happened with
Oh,
Juve's
yeah.
titles? More
Yeah, but
did
Juve,
nothing.
The first one got cancelled and the second one was given to Inter because the point
Was it
deduction.
given? Right. Okay.
But
to
that's
be
completely
fair, I'm not.
different. They
I'm
literally-
not
that's
bothered about
different.
the Klopp ones. I'm not bothered about Klopp getting the Prems. If they are willing to give just one Premier League title back, give it to the 2013-14 lot. I want to see Ali Sissoko and Steven Gerrard with Premier League medals.
Nah, he
No,
don't deserve
not
that,
gonna
mate.
happen.
You slipped up.
We are Tanya, Chelsea fan. We are the dark horses. We will win it, Chelsea. I like the chest, Tanya. Always the chest. There's no time to speak about Chelsea. Just a couple of words about Chelsea and the chances of jumping into third.
yeah,
Do
well,
you think that's? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible right now. I think we just need to assess it. I think we have a difficult run of fixtures coming up. We navigated a slightly easier set, got 10 out of 15 points. I'm happy with that. Carry on the same, and I think we'll sort of judge where we are after the next 5 fixtures, which are a lot more difficult, in my opinion.
Come on,
If they
Dan,
play-
man. I
if
was
they
one of something. He bottled that, didn't he? Dan? He didn't say nothing, man.
If they play Brighton and lose, guys, tomorrow, the meltdown from the Chelsea fan base will be hilarious after all the hope and the chest that happened over the past week. I think it's gonna be hilarious to be
your
honest.
fixtures aren't even that bad. Like you got Brighton at home. Brighton haven't even really been that good, and then you've got Ghent.
Well,
at
we're not
home.
great at home.
Forest at
First
home.
of all, we haven't been great at home, so that's the first issue I have. Brighton, yeah, we've beaten them. Nottingham Forest have started really well this season. Gave us a couple of really tough games last year.
Top team, Nottingham Forest. Really,
They
really
are
good team.
defensively. I think they're really good. I actually think if it wasn't for Reece James, we would have lost towards the end of last season against them. Then we have Liverpool, Newcastle, and I think Manchester United.
So Liverpool's the only team that are playing
No,
better than you
Newcastle
at the moment.
and
No.
Are we playing
No,
you
no.
at home or away?
Away, mate.
Liverpool are the only team that are playing
we're away.
better
So
than you
yeah,
Right,
you're
okay, so it's at
Anfield.
Anfield, right, okay.
Of those teams, Liverpool are the only team right now playing better than you are right now. Like you're playing better than Newcastle. You're playing better than Man United. You're playing
Are we
better than
playing better
Brighton.
than Newcastle? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Newcastle
Well,
have played awfully. They've just
Okay.
somehow scraped points.
I don't think Chelsea have played
Harvey Barnes has
unbelievably
massively
well up until
overperformed
maybe
Leicester.
the last game. But our tests have been so-so. Like we played a Crystal Palace side that have been poor and didn't win the game when we should have. We played a Bournemouth team who are probably better than us and didn't win because they got unlucky. And we played a West Ham team, who are the worst West Ham team I've seen in years.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
horrendous.
And we played a very a Manchester City side that are good. And I'm just trying to think of the other game we played.
Servette, top team, Servette.
So don't even get me started on that. So I think it's just been a mixed bag. But to be sat where we are, 10 points out of 15, I'm
Wolves.
pretty happy with it. And I have seen improvements. I'm not going to sit here and say Maresca's not learning from his mistakes. I think he is. So yeah, I'll judge it in another 5 games and see where we're at. I think because we're throwing Europe into the mix as well. We've got
Right, I've got a
The
gripe
best
with
players
Chelsea
aren't
fans
even
with this.
playing in Europe.
You haven't even registered half of your good players for that competition. It's not going
I
to be the
think
same as.
Well, it does. It's
other ones.
still a huge amount of the squad when they travel away will be traveling huge distances.
So
And,
just
and,
for
we, and we
argument's
don't know
sake-
how Maresca's going to suit in terms of rotating his squad because we've never seen that before anywhere he's managed because he's
Just
only
for-
managed at Parma and Leicester.
For argument's sake, you could name an entire starting 11 that wouldn't play in the league for you. Which
I actually think that's going to be Maresca's idea, but it still means
Sassy and Badiashile will be playing. I don't
Well,
know who right back like that.
Yeah,
who's
but
like-
when,
like
for
Akpom.
example, Tom, when we go out to play the likes of Noah in Armenia and we go and play
Noah.
they're called Noah. And I
Yes,
think
team
they're an
called Noah.
Armenian side. And I think when we go and play, we've got a team. I think in
Wait,
Kazakhstan.
I need to go look at the names of the clubs
and
you're
the,
playing
and
here.
the journey is like a 21-hour round trip. So it's quite a lot of
Give the Sassy that
traveling
one.
to throw
You can
into the
enjoy
mix.
that one.
And
You
we
don't need
all
to play
know
for them.
that some teams get European hangovers, especially in the lower competitions because of the traveling.
So you've got Gens. I know Gens. I know Panathinaikos. They are literally just called FC Noah. Jesus Christ.
I never heard of them.
Heidenheim, I know.
Have you heard of Servette before?
I had.
Only
Has
because
anybody
they-
heard of
I
an
think-
F9? They have an F9 team in that competition.
Haven't they played Liverpool, Servette,
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
or
was
someone
either-
else? Last,
think they played
Roma,
those.
I think actually maybe.
Heidenheim.
Roma?
Anybody know what Heidenheim
Yeah,
is?
Heidenheim
Heidenheim
had like a
I've heard
miracle
of.
Yeah,
season last
Heidenheim,
season in
yeah.
the Bundesliga.
Heidenheim. There's
I
actually
have
a
no
documentary
idea.
about
I have no
their
idea
manager,
who
I believe.
FC. I had no idea who FC Astana are. No idea who they are.
Yeah, that's it. Astana are from
I've heard of-
Kazakhstan.
I've heard
And
of
I've heard-
Astana.
I've
No,
heard
Astana,
of
I've heard of Astana.
If anyone,
I've heard of
can I just
Shamrock
say
Rovers
something
as
on
well.
Heidenheim? Can I just say there's the manager I think is called Frank Schmidt or Roger Schmidt. It's one of the two. They're brothers. There's a really good documentary that came out years ago about coaching. It's called Trainer. It's about 3 German football coaches. This guy's been there for years, and he's actually now taken them to the Bundesliga, and he started off like a few leagues down. It's actually a really good like football coaching documentary. Just throw it out there. But that's
Lad,
what I was gonna say.
Sounds like a
I'm
tough
sorry.
game, then.
I'm looking at the teams in this competition. Who are the Joe Garden? The Joe Garden.
idea.
You've got CS Petro Cup. Borac
I think-
Banja Luka. That sounds like a Croatian youngster. Borja Banja Luka. They play in Bosnia. You've got Dynamo Minsk. That sounds like an insult. You've got
But Tom, I would have put
Jagiellonia,
Servette on the
Bielsa.
same level. I would have put Servette on the same level, and we did struggle in that game.
Lad, you're playing
Vil-
against.
Villa handled this
competition.
competition fine, so I do think there has to be a if Villa can
And
handle
West
it
Ham.
and West Ham can handle it. I think you should be expecting yourselves to handle it.
Oh, I expect semi-final in this competition.
No, I'm not talking about going the long way
Semi-final,
with
are
them.
you
You should
crazy?
be pissing. You should be absolutely
Semi-final.
battering.
You
them
got to
all.
win this.
Oh my god!
Lad,
Because-
half the teams are
Man,
from Cyprus.
What the F, bro? You have to have some chest. The
I
best
think
team in this
semi-final.
competition is Fiorentina.
It's not.
And
It's not.
Fiorentina are miles behind you.
But
Okay.
also, it's not like last year where Europa League teams could drop down from Europa League into this competition. This is it. The teams that are in it now are the only teams in it.
You're gonna play Lugano or Legia Warsaw at some point.
Watch
You are
Real
going
Betis
to-
knock- watch
as
Real
long as we
Betis
get
knock
to the
Chelsea
semi-final,
out in the quarterfinal.
and we'll see where we are, then we might win it. But right now, I expect as
Fucking
an
hell.
absolute minimum in this competition, we have to get to the semi-final.
Bro,
Should be winning
anything
it.
other than lifting this trophy is a massive failure for you.
Maybe because of the size of the
It
club, but I
is.
don't know. I don't
No,
know.
no.
With the
Do you
current
expect
No,
top
no,
four?
no. Hold on.
I
He said
fifth,
something.
fifth.
No.
That's
because
enough
of
to
the-
win that
Not because
competition
of the size of
in
the
this league.
can.
Well,
You
yeah,
worded this
but
wrong,
Villa
not because
Villa
of the
finished in the
size.
top 4 and didn't win it,
Oh,
Joe,
no,
because of a
fair.
freak game against
He's not-
Olympiacos last year. Because
You're talking about
it's
the
football
size.
and anything can happen.
Yes,
And no one saw Olympiacos turning up in the way that they did.
but you're not going to
Villa-
get the level of an Olympiacos.
And do you know what it is as
dropping
well,
down, I
Joe?
don't
Is
think.
do you know what it
Go on,
is?
mate.
And people can throw shit around all they want, but if it comes round to it that our fixture list gets so congested, and then all of a sudden there's a push for top 4, or a push for a title, or a push for an FA Cup, or something like that, and this gets in the way, then maybe you have to put your focus on where you
Hold
expect us
on.
to finish.
Yeah, but I
Or-
was
first
told
of
that
all,
you have 2 teams.
the-
Hold on.
Yeah,
Joe.
the 11
I was
you
told-
can start.
I was told you're buying all these players to have 2 teams. I
Who
was
told
told
you?
that.
They'd basically
who
do
told, who
though.
told you
do
that,
this?
Mo? Who told you that?
Everyone.
I haven't said that. I haven't said that. I actually don't know if we are. I think we've got enough, but I believe half the team are there to just be moved on for profit for non-footballing reasons.
You have
Sorry,
7
half your
forwards.
team
No
are
one has
there to be
7
moved
forwards.
on.
I think they are, Tom. I genuinely do. I genuinely think that
What's happened to the sport I love? You just run a human trafficking ring in
financials,
London.
mate. It's as simple as that. Financials.
I'm sorry, but if I was to walk up to a random person in the street and go,
four of
I
our
have an
clubs-
organisation.
All four
I
of
have
our
an
clubs
organisation.
are now or have been owned by American owners who have zero interest in the actual history and
agree.
what football is. All
I
four
agree.
of us have experienced it now. Like that is what's happened to football, and unfortunately, there will be ulterior motives instead of actually just winning on the football pitch.
Yes,
I expect Chelsea as a club to go and win everything like we've done for the last 20 years. But unfortunately, I don't see us in that position anymore. But if we finish fifth, get semi-final of this competition, and hopefully win a trophy, that's an improvement on last year. And that's what I want, because we hired a manager. Hang on. It was only a few months ago. None of us even knew what Maresca might be capable of. And we were saying he'd be the first manager to get sacked. If we talk about Maresca getting to fifth and semi-finals of the Conference League in his first season at Chelsea, blending another squad of players together, I think that's a pretty acceptable
semi-finals, not a flex, Dan. To say he got.
I don't think it's a flex. But
Conference
it's
League.
Maresca's first time navigating Europe.
I'm sorry, navigating Europe is a strong word.
The
They're playing the doldrums that normally get knocked out of Champions League qualification.
Tom,
Well,
it's not just that though, is it? It's the traveling, it's coming back and
Dan,
rotating the team and keeping everyone happy.
It's crazy how people have different. Shez has completely different opinion than Don, who's an extreme. Completely different opinion than Dan.
I literally
don't think Chelsea got better.
What other people's opinions are. I say my own.
Completely different. But to be honest with you, fifth, and a semi-final of the Conference League.
Yeah, and a trophy in England from the League Cup or the FA Cup. Well, I don't think that's a bad season. Everything is an improvement on last year. Huh?
I think the biggest thing would be getting over the Wembley curse at the minute.
Let me and I don't disagree, Tom, and that's why I've said a League Cup or an FA Cup this season has to happen, because they have to be an improvement on last year. The only way we can improve on the League Cup is to win it, because we got to the final, and the FA Cup, we need to be trying to get to the final. It's the same bunch of players. They should be hungry again. We get a manager who's a complete unknown to Poch, having to blend another group of players together. If he gets fifth, it's a one-place improvement. At the start of the season, people didn't even put Chelsea in their top 7 in a lot of shows, right? So, and then if they go into Europe as well and navigate it all the way to the semi-finals, albeit a really inferior European competition, I'll still take that.
But you've spent £1 billion to have the same expectations as
but
Spurs.
Rory, we spent, I said this the other day, we spent £1 billion in Primark.
Excuse me, £1.5 billion now?
£1.5 billion to have the same expectations as Spurs.
And we've spent that on literal Primark quality, mate. Like, we haven't gone to Harrods and spent £1 billion. Do you know what I mean?
The thing with the
we've
Cups,
gone
though,
for
is
players
that
that no one even knows.
But the things with the Cups is you could get knocked out of the Cups by like City or Arsenal or Liverpool or whatever. If you lose the semi-final of this competition, there is not a single team in that competition that if you lose in the semi-final, it won't be a humiliating defeat. There is not a single...
By the way, I 100% get that, but that's what I'm saying. Semi-final, get there.
No, because you've got to win it.
No, I'd rather win an English trophy than the Conference League right now.
To be fair,
but hold on. Can I just put a statement here? Rory's point is that, but you aren't the best team in that local competitions. You are the best team in that competition. So logically speaking, if you don't win a cup, that's not a failure. If you don't win the competition that you are the best team at, it's a failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I don't think it is, because I don't think it's fair to say that Maresca failing in that competition at anything after a semi-final. Like, if he gets to the semi-final, which is what I expect, I think he's done okay. I think he's done it. The guy's never managed in Europe. Okay, he's got a very good squad, but he's never managed in Europe.
That squad to the semi-final of that competition. Just turn up and stay silent and just say.
And that's why I've said that's my minimum expectation.
Put the lineup, just put the lineup, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to put instructions.
Yeah, but we've seen a decent side go to Servette and lose 2-1 already.
Yeah, but that shouldn't set your expectations.
Why not, Rory? Because these players, half of them haven't played in European competition, so they don't know how to navigate it. They don't know what it's like to. They don't know what it's like to go and play away in Kazakhstan at 3 p.m.
No, but they're not. They're not turning up at the Bernabeu on a Wednesday night. They're turning.
No,
up
they're not. But it's a complete.
Backyard.
Yeah, but it's already shown, Rory, that we've gone over to Servette and we've struggled. This group of players, this very group of players and manager, they lost to Servette because it's a different style of football. It's a different kettle of fish. European football is completely different to what any of them are used to, which half of them is only academy football and the fringes of their first teams.
I mean,
Anyway, listen.
fair enough.
This
fair
is
enough.
listen, people.
I
We
think
are
you don't win
that
it, so
close
gambles.
to. We'll see how it goes. We're that. I think Dan will be right. If Chelsea lose against Brighton, I think every single Chelsea fan's expectation will change. Watch
Yeah.
this space. If Chelsea lose to Brighton or don't win at home, the expectations are going to be guys. We're literally 15 likes away from 400, so we need to get 400 likes before we go. We still have over 700 people here. Before we go, Rory, today is going to be 6:30 UK time. He's going to be live. Joe, I'm sure you got something coming up.
I'm doing a FIFA stream after this, mate. I got the new FIFA, so I'm going to do start Leeds career mode, get us back to the Premier League, son. And then tomorrow
Top
we've got
eight.
them.
Top
Yeah. Yeah, make it the big eight.
Dan, of course, what you got coming up?
Preview for the Brighton game, and
When?
then obviously the reaction to it and everything over the weekend.
When?
This evening after my next live and another one.
All right. So this evening, Dan's channel is booming now. Go and subscribe, people. We need Dan on 10,000 subscribers soon, hopefully.
Do you know what my
You're
favourite part
the
of the
kid.
show was? Do you know what the
What?
favourite part? The Man United Tottenham section. That was great. You know
It
that we
was
started.
absolutely hilarious.
We started with and never got to.
We need to find a Man United fan, to be honest. That is regularly here, to be honest.
Cool.
But listen, people, appreciate everyone. I don't think I'm doing content again. I might record a video or two. Go watch my Man City video from yesterday, Liverpool and Arsenal videos from yesterday. I started doing videos. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This will take you to Football Terrace, where it's going to be Staffy and Don. Completely different. We'll see you guys soon. We're out of here, people.